Well, good afternoon and welcome to Devonport for the Oceania Elite and Under-23 Standard Championships. It's Andrew Hopwood and I'm very pleased to be joined by Craig Redmond. Redders, what a fantastic weekend of triathlon we are having here in Devonport.
Yeah, good afternoon, Andrew. Look, it's been fantastic. We had World Para Series yesterday with the likes of Lauren Parker taking the gold medal, the wheelchair athlete, and then the amazing racing with our Oceania Junior Champs this morning, with Aspen Anderson taking the junior women and Jack Caldwell taking out the junior men's race. And now we're on to the women's under-23 and elite championships. A little bit different here in Devonport. It's been a little while, but they're racing the standard distance, Olympic distance, so a 1.5 kilometre swim, 40 kilometre bike and a 10k run, which means 8 times up the North Street Hill for these athletes.
And when we say up the North Street Hill, for those uninitiated, you wait till you see what lay ahead for our athletes. And there indeed is the course, Redders. So it's a 750 metre swim, which consists of those 2 laps. And then take us on the bike course.
Yeah, look, there's a little bit of change there. I know that the graphic says 7 laps, but they've made a bit of a safety call at the far end of the bike course on Coles Beach Road down to the Don River. A little bit rough and some speed humps there. They've taken that section out. So it's still got the North Street Hill, but they'll race exact same course as the juniors. So it'll actually be an 8 lap bike, so 8 laps of 5 kilometres for the 40 kilometres.
And then similarly, once they get off the bike, the legs will be burning and they take out off down Bluff Road to Victoria Parade. They turn there and head back and they have 4 laps to consider in the run. So again, it's the Olympic distance, so plenty of racing to be done here in the women's division. There's plenty of good races here, Redders.
Yeah, as we see our start list there with the Kiwi duo, actually, Ainsley Thorpe and Nicole Vanderkay, who are wearing numbers 1 and 2 in the race here today, which is obviously going as race favourites. And expect some good racing from those athletes. And of course, the under-23 athletes are in this field. They can win the elite title as well.
Yes. Yep, and I understand yesterday, Redders, you were able to have a bit of a discussion with some of our athletes.
Yeah, look, I caught up with Emma Jeffcoat, who's won here before. She had a fall last year and took some bark off. And let's have a listen to what Emma Jeffcoat has got to say. Emma Jeffcoat, you feel like you're a citizen of Devonport. You've been here that many times. Are you looking forward to your race?
I am. I was just counting when I was swimming. It's my 9th time in Devonport. So been here many a years. It's a very familiar course and I will admit I am a big fan of Devonport.
We really know you love the ocean swim. We know your background in surf saying, but a lot of people know you love the North Street Hill.
I do. I just think Devonport's such an honest course. You know, you got the ocean swim. It's a really tough bike. It's quite often get a bit of crosswind. You can be a bit isolated, but I think it's a triathlon that really shows the person that wins on the day is the best all-round triathlete and shows their strength. So I love that about Devonport.
Now, you obviously won on this course before, but last year wasn't a great race for you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've got a permanent reminder on my knee from last year. I think I left some of my sole on the corner. No, I just probably got too confident and was just having too much fun. You know what? It happens sometimes. But yeah, definitely will be staying upright, touch wood, this year. But I always race with the same intent. I think you know me well enough. I race hard from the get-go, swim and bike. I don't think there's any secrets in saying that that's the way I'll be looking to attack this weekend as well.
Well, we know there's no secret. That's how you race and roll. Had a great race at the World Cup in New Zealand last week, so it looks like the form's coming along.
Yeah, hopefully I back myself and know that I am in pretty good form. I think the most refreshing part for me is I've just had many years of injuries and just inconsistency. So the last kind of 18 months I've been training really well. So it's so nice to finally see it kind of translate across into racing, and hopefully that consistency and the new team I've got around me sets me up for a really great year.
Well, tell us about your new team. What's happening and what's happening in the world of Emma Jeffcoat and moving forward, and what are your plans for the next couple of years?
So I'm based back in God's country on the Northern Beaches, back in my hometown, which I love, and I've got an awesome team around me back home, based out of the Cube Gym. I've got an awesome group of staff, Coach Tim Brazier from NZ, and they're just allowing me to do my job really, and keeping me happy, keeping me healthy, goal is LA 2028. We've obviously got 4 years to get there, but ideally if we just keep consistent and keep tapping away and working on those run legs, I'd like to think that I could be an asset for the team in 4 years' time.
Well, good luck on Saturday. We'll be watching you closely, and good luck World Championships in Wollongong as well coming up.
Practically a home world champ, so that's the goal this year, make that senior elite team for world champs in Wollongong. So we've obviously got a long season ahead, but winning an Oceania Olympic distance title is a good step in the right direction to get there. So fingers crossed.
Good luck.
Thanks, Redders.
Terrific young lady.
Number 4,
and here are our
Jeff
athletes
Coe.
being introduced.
Number 5, Eva Goodison. Number 22, Rochelle Hill. Number 6, Desiree Ridenour. Number 7, Kira Hedgeland. Let's hear it for Kira. Number 8, Charlotte Derbyshire. Number 23, Tara Sasinski. Number 9, Sarah McClure. Number 10, Sian Monks. Number 24, Chloe Baitup. Number 25 is Olivia Cummings. Wearing number 26, Zoe Clark. Number 11 is Lauren Kerwick. Number 12, Sophie Malawaki. Number 27, Lulu Johnson. Wearing 28 is Grace Kells. Number 29, Charlotte Hall. Number 14, Amara Ray. Wearing 15, Emma O'Brien. Number 30 is Mia Foster. And number 31, Laura Gillard. Let's hear it for our elite and under 23 Oceania Championships women participants as they make their way down for race start. This is standard distance, so 1,500 metre swim, 40 kilometre bike ride, which is 8 laps on the bike course, and 4 laps on the run, 10 kilometre run.
Emma Jevcoat's got... Emma Jevcoat's got a great spot there, right on the far end of the start line. Very short run into the water here for the ladies. It was high tide here at Devonport. A little bit of a wade, but they'll be
In the
swimming very
starters'
quickly.
hands.
And away. Well, it's interesting, Redders, it's very different as you just, I said a few minutes ago, it is on high tide now. I think it's due around about now. Low tide will probably, I think it's about 6:35 tonight, so it'll be a very different start for the men. But we saw earlier on they had a sprint down to the beach and get out, and it was just a standing start and they were away. And of course they've got 2 laps of this course.
Yeah, you can certainly see the surf skills from some of these girls. I noticed the Kiwi girl leading up front stayed on her feet just that 3-4 steps further, just got those couple of extra body lengths, dived into a swim, and that's given her a great advantage. That's a fantastic start.
Yeah, very much so. So as they head out here, it's the conditions were very, very flat earlier on. It's starting to change ever so slightly. There looked to be a little bit of rain around. The clouds seems to have dissipated. It looks still blue sky. So I think for the ladies' event, it looks like it might stay clear. It was, 21 degrees in the water. Thus the reason why we're seeing them with this their bathers on now as they're just starting out towards that first can. For the uninitiated, again, Redders, very experienced swimmer yourself. Once they get out to that first can, it gets to be a little bit of a swell as it heads towards Bass Strait.
Yeah, look, it's pretty protected here from the prevailing nor'westerly winds because of the Mersey Bluff headland, but the turning buoys are a little bit further out to sea in Bass Strait, and they lose that protection. So if the wind does get up, although it is looking a little bit calmer now than it was for the junior boys race, they will cop a little bit of chop there.
The swell we noticed too, mate, was quite fascinating. As they get out of the can, you'll notice that when we get the vision from the rubber ducky that is down on the water, there's a reasonable swell out there. So that'll be interesting to see as, gee whiz, it's great vision. We've got one right from the boat that is on high, and then you've also got the drone up there which shows us. And look at the splash. It's almost like a tsunami of swimmers as they take that out. Look at the splash. It's as they head towards the first can, just jockeying for position. Already it's a little bit hard to see, but just getting some clear water, Redders, and that's where you'd like to be, because when you do get towards the can, it gets very, very busy, as we saw in the junior event. Well, one or two, in fact, had a few challenges with their goggles getting knocked. So you just try and get to some clear water. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and it's almost pool conditions there at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful swimming. Our lead swimmer's got a lovely stroke going, high rating, very good catch. And 2 laps of this swim course. The juniors obviously did 1 lap of the 750 metres, but our elite under 23s will do 2 laps for the standard distance. Just a lovely little V there where people are trying to sit on feet or sit on the hips of their other swimmers.
And in fact, as we speak, the sun is just coming out. It's very deceptive here in Tasmania. You don't need a great deal of sun for it to get particularly warm. I mean, once they get out of the water, they'll have the asphalt and the road conditions, which only amplifies that warmth, and there is a little bit of that swell, as we can see. You can see 1 or 2 of the swimmers just at the back there. Redda's almost doing the breaststroke. Look at it, it's really tight there, and in fact it's almost like a bit of the old World Championship wrestling, the forearm jolts that come across inadvertently onto some of the other athletes, because it gets very congested when you get 31 people going for one object. There's only one result, and that's carnage.
Yes. Yeah, they trying to find their own space of water there, but you don't want to be caught on that inside can and get that drowning sensation. It's not much fun when you're swimming on the edge.
So they are now, this is the section that is a little bit of undulation with the swell that goes parallel with the beach as they go around that second one and then head for home. Yes. And then head back out again, of course, for the 2 laps.
Yeah, it's actually
of the standard
pushing him down towards this turning buoy. So
yes,
they're getting a little bit of assistance from that swell and prevailing wind.
So I'm interested just in relation to that, for some of the people that are out there. Of course, we're going to tap into your great wealth of knowledge in the world of triathlon, Retta. So it's called standard now. It was called maybe Olympic distance, or is it the same thing, or is there a right pronunciation for this distance race?
Yeah, well, it's known as the standard distance, because using the term Olympics a little bit of a no-no. But us old stages always known as the Olympic distance triathlon. But yeah, look, it's a test. It's almost like triathlon's gone a little bit to the extreme of the T20 form of cricket versus the test match. There's sort of nothing in between, and using cricket as an analogy. And so these athletes don't actually get to race the 2-hour races that often anymore. So it'll be a good test for them early on to get a 2-hour race under their belt.
Yeah, because there is a variety of options out there in the triathlon world. There's, of course, the sprint, of which we saw this morning, which is a great entree into the sport, where it's 750, 20 and 5. Then, of course, the standard distance, which of course is the 1.5, 40, 10. We then go into what, again, I'm an old stager, which would classify as the half Ironman, which now is branded as an Ironman series, in that I've got a young friend of mine, Tom Frankson. G'day to Tom. I know he's racing here tomorrow, but he has honed his training skills for that Ironman series, which he just went to the World Series. And then, of course, there is the Ironman proper, which is the big race as well, which you try and qualify for Kona.
Yeah, look, you tend to find the older athletes tend to migrate towards the longer events, and there was a bit of a migration post Paris of athletes moving across to the long course racing, or just want to play in that space for 12, 18 months before they come back to the Olympic discipline and chase LA 2028. But right now, it's a new cycle. It's a new Olympic cycle for these athletes. So it's very new. They're all starting to stand out, but no doubt these athletes, many of them, some of them have been to the Olympics before, but they're now obviously wanting to be on that start line in LA 2028.
Because then, whatever it is, this is the distance that they will be doing in the Olympic Games. So no matter what form, it all comes back to this particular race. Yeah, when you want the dais at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, look, they're swimming, fantastic swimming here by these athletes. I would expect to see the Kiwi, Ainsley Thorpe, right up there. She's a very, very strong swimmer, and obviously Jeff Coate also is a very good swimmer. And also the Canadian athlete, Ridenour, is in this race as well. She's a very strong swimmer. Lauren Kerwig, I expect to see Zoe Clark as well. And also Tara Sosinski. They're probably the swimmers I'm expecting to be in that top 5, 6 out of the water.
Well, of course, as you did mention there, but as Ainsley Thorpe, she's in good form, came third at the World Triathlon Cup in Napier just recently. So, taking some good form into this race.
She is. And then obviously we had that discussion with Emma Jeffcoat. Interestingly, the Kiwi connection, it's great to see Emma back injury-free and back racing, and she got a great race and got on the podium in Napier as well. But not only that, she's being coached by a Kiwi now, obviously by a well-known coach in New Zealand, Tim Brazier. So it's good to see she's in a happy place and she's healthy and racing well.
Yes, and Van der Kay was 16th there in Napier just recently as well. So a couple of good athletes coming in from New Zealand. As just try and get a glance on some of these numbers here, Redders, as they're coming very, very close back into towards where they'll go back out again for their second lap. They go back around the marker and sprint off for that second lap.
And I'm just having a look at that, and that actually looks like Zoe Clark is leading that. Now, she's one of our talent transfer athletes. Another one that trains with...
it is Zoe Clark.
With Jared Evans. So she's first out. She's going to run around the that turning buoy, and off she goes to do lap 2.
It's quite an interesting exercise here, Redders. You do the swim and you just sprint back out, and then away you go again. Very closely followed behind, and in fact, excellent work.
Yeah,
so hit the water.
So see them coming out. So I think we saw, Zoe was leading from Emma Jeffcoat, and then I believe Bria Roderick might have been right there as well.
Yep. So as they head out for the second one, they'll have their rhythm. They'll be used to the temperature, the conditions. The body will be nice and warm. They're loosened up, and it's a good crowd that's gathered here. Traditionally, Redders, that Devonport, the community of around about that 20,000, supports this event continually and has done for 40 years. And I know back in the day I loved racing here. You always felt welcome, and the streets were lined, and it's a big part of the community here in Devonport. So they're now comfortably going about their work as they head out to sea, trying to keeps a glance on
Yeah,
who's in
so
front.
we're sort of just looking there. It looks like Zoe Clark's there, Bria Rodrigues there. We think Tara Sasinski's in that lead group, along with another under-23 athlete, Rochelle Hill. So that's a great swim from her. And there's probably about a 15-second gap back through to the next group. So this could be a defining little group early in the race if this four can get away.
Well, we saw how important it is in the last race, which was the sprint series. Defending champion Jack Woodbury from Tasmania was just didn't quite get out of the water as far up as he would like, and that was enough that he was finishing fourth. But we've got a bit of a glance here about what have we got there, Redders? About 8 or so?
We've got about 8 in that lead group, and then a distinct gap back to the chase group. So I tell you what, that could be the lead pack if they can't swim that gap down. Some very strong swimmers in here.
Yeah, it's crucial that you get away well. Of course, the 3 different disciplines are very different on the body.
Yeah, so I'm getting some feedback from out there. So we know Zoe Clark's there. We know Jeff Coates there. We're pretty sure Bria Rodrigues there and Tara Sasinski. Rochelle Hill's in that group, and we think the Canadian also, Desiree Ridnour, is in that group as well.
Quite a big gap there, Redders, from first to the young lady near the rear there. So they're stretching it out in the swim as they go up to the can for their second and last time. As we alluded to, it is 2 laps of this 750 metre course here in Devonport before they make their way out and they head out on the bike, and they are going to have 8 laps. Originally, of course, it was scheduled for the 7, but due to some safety reasons just at the end of the course, they thought it was prudent that they trim it up slightly, so they've gone out and marked that back a little bit, so it's 8 laps, and then it will stay with what we had planned with 4 laps of the 2.5k run, which we do know is quite flat and fast. Plenty of shade for the athletes under the trees, although the sun's creeping through again, so
yeah, I can
just
start seeing some blue sky breaking through the cloud there, so that's a good sign. Interestingly, for the cyclists, they'll love the fact that they get to go up the hill 1 extra time, 8 times instead of 7. For the ones that are not so strong, probably not happy about that, but hey, it's the same for everyone, and 8 times up North Street Hill is certainly going to sting the legs for the run.
It will indeed, as the ladies, of course, it's the mixture of the two, excuse me, the under-23s and elite in these races, but just for the uninitiated as well, Redders, that, excuse me, if you happen to be under 23 across the line, that just means you win 2 titles.
Correct. You can win both.
There we go now. They're still in that lead group. It's about that 8 in the lead group again, and they've got a very handy lead as we speak. Lovely rhythm. Swell coming in, getting a little bit bigger, but we'll notice that as soon as they come around this boy. You can see our tireless volunteers are out there doing all the safety work. Of course, we are here at the Devonport Surf Life Saving Club, and I personally would like to thank everyone who commits of their time, those surf lifesavers, not only here in Devonport and Tasmania, but around the rest of the country. We thank you for your service and keeping the waterways of this lovely country safe continually.
Fantastic shot of that chase group, just trying to get onto the back of that leg group. And the pace is on. They're strung out. So our lead swimmer, Zoe Clark, is part of, as I said, surf lifesaving background and talent transfer. It's incredible.
Well, mate, you of course came from that surf life-saving background, and that's where we do get a lot of our triathletes from.
Yeah, we do.
So, from your experience, of course, you were in charge of all the elite programs. What is it that you're looking for in an athlete? Is there anything in particular?
You're looking for the X factor, that's for
Yeah.
sure. There's a combination of things. Their ability to handle the training loads, their movement vocabulary, the way they move. Typically, athletes that come from surf life saving background, you've got to be very careful because they have been doing a lot of non-load bearing training.
Yep.
So you've got to be very careful with the run and they may not handle their run volume, but usually they have a set of skills that sets them beautifully the transition across to triathlon. Then it's a matter of working really hard on their run diligence without injuries. So it's a challenge for coaches, and the good coaches can do it, and finding that right mindset. And we've certainly had Emma Jeffcoat's gone to the Olympics, and Craig Walton's gone to the Olympics, and I remember way back guys like Courtney Atkinson, surf life saving background as well. So and it's certainly the same thing. Like young Taylor Reid from New Zealand as well has a surf life saving background. So it's very strong activity in Australia and New Zealand, and hence it's a natural progression from surf into triathlons.
One of the key things I think on that though, Redders, is it's a generational thing in that I'm an old veteran and went in the first Devonport Triathlon. It was a new sport then. Now you're getting mums and dads who competed then, so in fact they're starting off looking to go into a sport that is established globally.
Well, we're starting at that generational thing.
Yeah.
Right? We're celebrating the 40th anniversary of this race, but Aspen Anderson, who won the junior women's today, well, her father, Cam Anderson, was a very good pro athlete and junior Australian rep who raced here many times as a pro over the years. And young Rochelle Hill in this race, her mother is Rena Hill, an Australian Olympian as well in Athens. So that generational thing is now starting to happen. We're getting these Olympic athletes and former professional athletes that now got their children and now coming into the sport. Yes,
so the point that we do make, Redders, is that from a young age, triathlon can be a focus, although it is in those mixed sports. It's the three different disciplines, and that's why it's challenging. That's why they are elite, because you have to divide your training, as you mentioned, the loads between the three disciplines, albeit the transition comes into the fourth one as well.
And that's a fantastic shot. You can see what they're aiming for, the black Tasmanian arch there, that's the swim exit.
So they'll go up there and unlike this morning, they'll pretty much just come straight in there, a couple of big strides. They've got to get those knees up nice and high, kick the feet out wide so they can push off, because once you stand up you can get a little bit of distance between the person that's behind you. So we'll keep an eye on here and keep you informed of those positions as the girls come through. They have those electronic markers around their ankles there, so it'll give us an idea of exactly what positions they are in as the dolphin diving starts to happen now, Redders.
Here they come out of the water. Just big shout out to all our people tuning in on YouTube. Love seeing your comments pop up on the YouTube, so keep that up. And here they come. Tara Sasinski from Queensland is going to lead them out. An under 23 athlete. And so fantastic swim for her, and she is
Look at a motor, Redders.
Yep.
Gee whiz.
So this is a very handy group. We need to stay in contact with this group. So we're just trying to pick up there, and the Kiwi, Bria Roderick is there.
Yep.
Emma Jeffcoat, Zoe Clark, obviously our talent transfer athlete. And was that?
There's Jeffcoat. Oh, a little bit of a bump there, as that was Rochelle Hill, who was trying to get to the front there, but it was all action station. Interesting enough, the first couple of competitors are in the under-23s as they go past us, Redders, with pace, just getting their shoes clipped in, and they all have now, and a couple of big pushes down as they lift the pedals up and push hard again to try and get some distance on the people that are just getting out of the water.
Yeah, I did see Eva Goodison from New Zealand in that group as well, so fantastic there. Ridnow from Canada is right there. And also Kira Hedgeland as well.
So we're watching all of the athletes make their way out of the water. They strive up towards their bike. Of course, they will take their helmets, put their helmets on, as you'll see there. Can't dismount the bike or do anything. Then they straight out, Redders, and away. And just in front of us, we can see them getting onto their bikes. Plenty of marshals there, just continually telling them where they're going and what to do. And as some people are going out, we've got our lead pack led by Tara Sasinski going back out, and we'll follow her in just a few moments. And there she is from the high above Devonport, and there's that lead group. 2 there, and I think that other group will just about to cling on to them, Redders. So that'll be, what is that, 3, 4, 5, 6, is it, I think? 6 or 7?
I think we saw, Sasinski was there, Bria Roderick was there, Zoe Clark, Emma Jeffcoat, Eva Goodson from New Zealand, and Rochelle Hill, and Desiree Ridnow was in that group. Ridnow might have been about 15, 20 seconds down, so she might have not quite got on.
That second group, I just noticed Clark looked around to talk to Jeffcoat and Goodison and co, just to sort of saying, come on, let's get organised and let's get up. We can't be here. We've got to get up to that lead group. Don't let them get away.
And here's our Hong Kong representative, Charlotte Hall from Hong Kong.
Great to see this. An international flavour. We've got Hong Kong, we've got Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. We welcome you all to the coverage, and we hope that you'll enjoy it as much as we enjoy bringing you all the action to Devonport. You're thinking about coming down to Devonport, have a look at that visuals there. Come on down and visit us down here. Yeah, have a glass of our lovely Pinot Noirs or a nice apple, and you breathe the cleanest air on the planet, Redders. Everything happens down here.
Are we comparing New Zealand Pinots to Tassie Pinots?
Oh dear, oh dear,
no,
of course.
Look at that, there's our big group chasing now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 in that group on the chasing. We will get a split as soon as they come back to complete their first lap, and we'll get a better idea of who's in what group. But the lead pack shouldn't be too far away from going up the infamous North Street Hill for the first time.
So there we are, that's part of the course. So there's a couple of sections there that can be quite exposed, Redders, but today, at the moment, it's all very, very calm, which is terrific. And there is what lay ahead. The North Street Hill, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
It's like the old television show I used to watch, the streets of San Francisco. Lumpy and like that, and you know that you're doing it. 8 times, Redders.
As we mentioned, you don't get a run at this hill. It's basically across the train line, hard left-hand turn, and then you're straight into the climb. So it's vital that you've got the right gearing and the right plan in place for that hill. We saw in the junior men's that a couple of the junior men made a couple of little errors, and here they are. Coming up the hill now, our lead group.
Yeah, well, I was interested, Tara Sasinski, who was there, she's had, world ranking, 109, 17 starts, 6 podiums, and had a couple of wins, which was terrific on her part. But I think in that pack, they're all very close, bunching up.
Yeah, we've got a lead group of 6. So you can see Roderick's there and Sasinski's there.
Yep.
And also Goodson. So the 2 Kiwi girls are in there.
There they go. They're just pushing up. You can see them out of the saddle. Thankfully, on this particular occasion, there aren't any challenges with the chain. They've got the right gearing.
And I tell you what, that's a pretty significant gap already,
isn't it?
Ridnow's in no man's land there, those 2 athletes, so they've got to make a decision here. If these 5 can get together, they've got plenty of time. They've got 40 kilometres, so they just regroup and then start pulling their turns. They can potentially get back onto the front.
Yeah, they need to start to work together now. Work out a strategy if they think that they would like to get up to that pointy end. As here we can see them pushing forward again.
Yeah, that's Kira Hedgeland coming up behind Ridnow, the Canadians, and Chase Pack behind them. Just trying to pick up the next athletes in that group. And here's our lead pack screaming back down the hill.
And they go very fast down there. It was interesting actually to see some of the athletes just decided to sort of stay in the upright position there, Redders, as well. We do see sometimes maybe tactically, it can be later on, but they get very low down, and this is where you've got to be cautious. You don't want to go too fast and go wide, but these are competent riders, aren't they, as they go round.
Yeah, doing very well.
Leading, I think that's Rochelle Hill, who's just out the front. Bea Roderick coming up there. It's all very, very close.
Yeah, so Zoe Clark's lost contact there on that climb, so she needs to get back on the way through. We actually, so she's part of a talent transfer program, very, very similar to our silver medalist in the junior women race as well, and she's trained by Jared Evans.
Yes.
We caught up with Zoe. We might have a chat with her.
Yeah, it'd be good. We'll have a little look at that in a few minutes of that discussion. As here are our riders. You can saw the grimaces on the faces as they're getting into their work. As we made you aware, it is 8 laps of this course. So, which means, of course, the North Street Hill has got to be completed that 8 times. So they're just trying to get into their rhythm now.
We saw Nicole Vanderkay in that group as well. So let's have a listen to our talent transfer athlete Zoe Clark. Zoe, welcome back down to Devonport. I know you've been down here before, but tell us a bit about your expectations for the race on Saturday.
Well, yeah, I'm really excited for Saturday. It's only my second Olympic distance, but I feel like I'm best suited to that distance, so I'm excited for the race. And after Napier a few weeks ago, I had a really strong swim and bike and proved that I can be up there in the race, so I'd really like to do that again this week.
So you've done your training and you're getting ready for this course. What are the sort of things you've been doing to get ready for the North Street Hill?
Yeah, well, I've been doing a few hill reps. We had a training camp down in Geelong and training the cycling on the Great Ocean Road to get a few more hill climbs in the legs. But yeah, I do most of my riding in Canberra, so that's lots of hills. So I'm hoping that that works in my favour.
So you're saying you're based in Canberra, but you're part of Oz Triathlon's talent transfer, talent ID program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I moved to Canberra for uni at the start of 2021, and I'd always kind of known that I'd wanted to do triathlon, but I'd never given it a crack because, I did surf lifesaving before then. So I started triathlon, did about 1 season, and then, got recruited by my coach, Jared Evans, into the program. And then, he kind of picked me up when I was maybe not in the best place with some injuries and stuff like that. And I feel like I've really grown into a stronger athlete since being part of that program. And every year I've come to Devonport, I've done a little bit better. Last year I was having a really good race, but unfortunately I crashed on the bike. So hopefully this year is the one for me. Yeah.
Well, you've obviously know the course really well now. There's some ocean swim, hilly bike, and a flat run. What are your goals? Are you looking towards the Wollongong World Championships later in the year?
Yeah, so this is my last year as under 23, and I've only been in the sport for a few years, so I kind of missed any opportunity as a junior. So I'd really like to make under 23 worlds this year and race on home soil. So making under 23 worlds is the big goal for me this season, but if that doesn't happen, the bigger goals are always the Olympics and so on. So I'm just going to keep on working away and getting better every day. Yeah.
Well, good luck. We'll be following closely in your race on Saturday, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I hope that too.
And we're back live, and we can say the first lap of the bike's down, and that lead pack of 5 of Bea Roderick, Eva Goodson, Tara Sasinski, Emma Jeffcoat and Rochelle Hill has opened up a handy little break. Zoe Clark, who we just heard from, is dropped off a little bit there, and then chasing by Kira Hedgeland, Lauren Kerwick, Desiree Ridnow, Nicole Vanderkay is in that chase pack, and they're around, just getting a time gap there though, sitting at about 45 seconds down.
Yes, you really do get a good handle on that, Redders, of where we're sitting as the girls go by somewhat swiftly in a flash. That when that chase group comes by, it's quite interesting. You might say it's a certain amount of seconds, but you think, oh, that's not long. It's big distances though, isn't it? It really is, the way at the speed that they are travelling. So there are the riders going out now.
Yeah, look, we're getting a time gap of around 15 seconds back to Clark, who's riding solo, and then that chase pack is around 50 seconds back. So this group with those athletes, with the 2 Kiwis and 3 Australians, are starting to open up a significant lead very early on in the bike.
It is early on. There's plenty to go within this race, but is this the time when you suddenly think already out of those athletes that we've spoken about up in the pointy end, that's where our winner's going to come from?
It's a little bit early in the bike yet. It just depends whether the lead group decides to back off a little bit and start thinking about the run. It is. Especially with 8 times up the hill. But we know one thing for sure, that Emma Jeffcoat's not going to sit around. She's happy to ride solo on this course. So she's going to go. Rochelle Hill was looking very, very confident on the bike, and she was driving the pace as well. So it's going to be pretty tough for that group to come back.
Yeah, very much so, as we can see them out on course, working hard and up the North Street Hill for the second time. Along they go. You can see Hill at the back. Just looks like her gearing's a little bit different. She's sort of put it down a gear or two here, Redders, and you can see her working hard on the pedals.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's in the line, one sitting on the outside of it. So our leading pack of 5 heading up the North Street Hill for the second time. It's a nasty. You've got the rise, stay seated, but then a little flat reprieve, and then it kicks up nastily at the top.
So there they go. You see the grimaces on their faces, working hard to get to the top as they go round. I'm interested in looking. So Bree Broderick from New Zealand, who is an under 23 competitor. She's had 56 starts, 12 podiums, and 3 wins already in her young triathlon career.
And look, this is a good sign. We've got 6 athletes in the chase group. If they can get organised, there's still plenty of time. It only takes the pace to come off the front group a little bit, especially in the last sort of 10k of the bike, and these guys can get back on. So Desiree Ridnow, the Canadian, she won the World Cup in Napier, so she's showing good form, so she'll be more than happy to get herself towards the group. And that's a great shot of the girls going up the steep part of the hill while the lead pack comes down. And we've got a little breakaway here of 3.
Oh, look at this. This is interesting, Redders.
It is interesting. They're driving that, and I believe that could be Rochelle Hill that's driving out. I can't quite pick up that number from here.
We'll get it in a minute as they come right down towards us. I think it is.
It is indeed
22, Rochelle Hill.
It definitely is. And Bria Roderick,
whom we just spoke of.
So riding very strong here. Interestingly, both in the under 23 category, so they are certainly not waiting around. So
it seemed to close up just a little bit on that. They got a gap on the downhill. They were very, very fast, and now Jeffcoat's just tapped on to them. And I think it's Eva Goodison, who's just trying to work her way back onto the pack. So
see, we've got,
I think it's 5 there now, Redders.
Yeah, so we've got 2 Kiwis and 3 Aussies, but interestingly we've got 3 under 23s and 2 open races in that lead pack.
Yep. So the girls coming down towards us, just being cautious as they.
So this is our chase group led by Nicole Vanderkay, who's a very, very accomplished athlete, been around for a very long time.
She had a pretty good race here last year, didn't she?
And then I'm just trying to pick up the other Kiwi athlete in that chase group. Number 11. Oh, looks like it's Lauren Kerwick.
Yep.
As well. So she's sitting there in that group.
So that was Lauren Kerwick, as you alluded to, McClure from New Zealand. Great to see O'Brien right up there as well.
And this is our 3rd chase group as well. So they're all starting to come together now. There's just a matter of trying to get yourselves organised and take your turn, pulling your turns, and try and get it all together.
As they come round that reasonably tight area, they swing back here. quite a technical course, Redders, isn't it? With those couple of tight turns, you got the big hills. So it's prudent that you get to Devonport and train this course, because there's quite a lot of variables in it: hills, straights, chicanes, a bit of these lumps that you have to go over. So there's some, dare I say it, nuances that you have to get used to here at Devonport.
You certainly can't allow yourself to relax. You've got to be concentrating the whole time.
Yeah.
There's little speed humps, there's turns, there's train lines, there's hills. And if the wind gets up, there's a lot of gaps along the beach road where you can get hit by the crosswinds as well when you come out of the shelter of the low bushes there, some trees. So it can be quite technical.
And there the girls just go past us.
So great job from Goodison. She's got herself towards the front again. So she's leading that group through to complete lap 2.
Yep. So that's Eva Goodison, number 5 from New Zealand, who is in the elite race, followed by Rochelle Hill and Tara Sazinski and Bree Roderick, right up in the pointy end, as well as Emma Jevcoat as well. I apologise, as we can see here, just
we'll try and get a time grab on that group. They've gone through in around 36 minutes and 47 seconds into the race so far. So we'll just wait for that chase group to come through and see if we can get a second gap. But I think it is opening up.
Yeah, they're bunched up together and they seem, dare I say it, well organised, that front group. They're pulling together. I think if they get a sense, if they can make their way out in front of that chase group.
Yeah, look, we're out to about 53 seconds. So it is sitting around that. They don't really want to get it much more than a minute.
An uncomfortable stage, Redders, I would have thought, around that 50 seconds. No doubt about that. As the girls just speeding past us, and you had mentioned, I think in the previous race, some of these young ladies will get up to at least that 70 odd kilometres an hour on this bike course, and that's very, very fast.
Certainly is. And then the third chase group's about 28 seconds down from the second group.
Okay. So we've got a couple of races within races, just trying to hang on, keep together, keep your cool, keep your composure. And that's where you don't want to be, is out in your Pat Malone, just sort of trying to force your way to get onto something. That's Curls doing a terrific job to try and get up to join a group, to work together. As we can see there, some groups going by. This is towards the start-finish area, and there is the North Street Hill as it glides down somewhat swiftly.
So this is our last place competitor, I believe, going around. Now they do have a lapped out rule here, so if you do get caught on the bike, you have to withdraw from the course for safety reasons.
Which could be a potential, given there's 8 laps now.
Yes. Yep. So it's very important that they that's their first goal, not to get caught, so they can continue in the race. And
absolutely. All right, so it's at this stage it's Goodison, Hill, Sasinski, Roderick and Jevcoat in the lead pack. So I'll be interested to see how they go, if they can stay together.
And that athlete just going through there was Laura Gillard from Australia in the under-23 category. Another lone cyclist here.
Yes, so that is Lulu Johnson from New Zealand, and she's just gone past us, which is the start-finishing line, in an attempt to stay well ahead of the chasing pack. Great determination on their faces, pushing hard. And here is Mia Foster, as we just saw there. She's gone through, but we are now back, Redders, with our lead group.
Yeah, back
like
up
there's
that hill.
5 in there.
Still 5, still sitting there. It's interesting techniques. Few seated. Rochelle Hill's out of the pedals, and now they start climbing on the steepest part of the climb.
See, Jevcoat just finally got out, because she was Well, it's a overstatement to say she's relaxing, but she was at least in the saddle that little bit longer as Hill went to the inside. And in fact, this is where she tried to get a little bit of a gap in the previous lap, but as they came down, it was lovely downhill work by Jeb Coate to pull up to them. So it'll be interesting to see how they go as that, just go over that arch. We won't see them for a minute, and they'll come down at a great pace. Not for the faint-hearted is the North Street Hill here in the Devonport Triathlon.
Yeah, 2, 4, 6 athletes in our chase pack. Around 52 seconds at the last time check. So they don't really want that to get out any further. Zoe Clark's there. We can see Kira Hedgeland from Western Australia there. Obviously the Canadian Ridenow is in there. Lauren Kerwick as well in that group.
Yes. Hedgeland, who went on the inside. That's a great shot when you see the grimace just there.
And I did miss from that group, but Charlotte Derbyshire is in that group as well. So
yep.
So that's good to see her in that chase group. And then this is the third chase pack, which we believe in that group we've got Sarah McClure from New Zealand, Sian Muggs from Australia, Amira Ray from New Zealand, and Ellie Hoytink from Australia, and Chloe Baitup is also in that group, along with Olivia Cummings from New Zealand, and also Emma O'Brien from Ireland. We're in that third chase pack.
It was interesting to watch Jeb Coate there. She seemed somewhat determined a few minutes ago to just forge her way forward. She looked just for a minute with a little bit more intent as she went round that corner, but we lost vision of her because I thought maybe she was getting caught up, but it seemed to me, read as this potentially that she was trying to maybe work her way to the front to try and put on a bit of a gap, more to the point. But anyway, we're back now with some of the chasers, and amongst there is Nicole van der Kay. She goes round. She's been here before.
Yeah, very, very talented athlete.
Just get in that position, don't you? You've just got to get yourself in a rhythm. And here they come now. Round very, very quickly.
Yeah, so Nicole didn't have a great race in April at the World Cup, but look, she's on the comeback trail from the Paris Olympics, where she finished a 14th place there in Paris. And a lot of these athletes, especially the Olympians, have had a long break. We know, speaking to Lauren Parker, the other, she'd had 4 months off after Paris, and so some of these athletes are just starting to get back into it, so you wouldn't expect them to be reaching anywhere near their top form. But it's great to see them here racing and trying to qualify for the World Champs.
Well, that's the whole key in this sport, isn't it? It's knowing when to peak. You're not sure if someone's tapering or where they are within their season, if they've been to the Paris Olympics. The reality is, in something like this, you can't be up all year round. You know, you've got to understand there'll be breaks, there'll be pockets within your training regime where you'll do a harder block of work. So we're not quite sure where they are. It's in the season in relation to that.
Yeah, as we see Mia Foster from Australia climbing up that hill again. Plenty of spectators out on the course watching the athletes go up and down that hill.
Yeah, they're all.
And our lead pack is coming through to complete lap 3.
They certainly have.
So this will be really interesting to check out this time gap. They've gone through in around 45 and 2 seconds.
We can call what positions they are in, but let's just be clear. You throw a blanket over that lead group of Bria Roderick, Emma Jeffcoat, Eva Goodison and Tara Sasinski and Rochelle Hill.
Great capture of their turning circle there. Just making sure you got the power down on that inside pedal, and Push down.
Just looking there at Hill, Retta's just on that turn dropped a tad, so she had to apply a little bit more pressure on the pedals just to make sure she was in there. And away
Just
they
feels
go.
like the pace has come off a little bit in that group. They're not as strung out, whereas the chase group coming through here seems to be a little bit more strung out. And yeah, so look, it's sitting at around 57 seconds, so it has eked out another 4 or 5 seconds.
Okay.
So it's they are eking out a bit of time.
So that's the section here where they slow down to go on this right-hander. Just keeping their distance from each other. There's no point being a hero and trying to get through some smarty move. They just want to stay upright on there, and then away they go again. Just coming directly past us again, going at a really good pace, whereas the other group just coming back the other way, and there they go past us again. So some good athletes in there, but they've got some work to be done. So this is the standard distance race, which means, of course, it's they've already completed the 1.5 kilometre swim. They're out here now, Redders, on the lap 4 of 8 of the bike ride, which is 40 kilometres.
Yeah, and look, that third chase group that's got Chloe Bate-up and Ellie Hoytink in there is at 46-42. So they're around 42 seconds down on the second chase pack, and who's another 52 seconds on the lead pack. So yeah, they're sitting about a minute 40 away from the lead, the third chase pack at the moment.
All right.
Oh no, I need the
Interesting.
I need the screen.
And there we go, up the hill, pushing down on the pedals. And the other thing we'll do, we'll have to keep a bit of a glancing eye as the laps go by, that you don't get lapped by some of those very swift elite women up at the pointy end.
Yesterday I had the USB.
It almost seems a bit of a shame if that happens, Redders, because all of these young ladies have been putting in so hard. It would be unfortunate if they weren't allowed to complete the race. But as you said before, mate, safety is paramount, and I don't want to get it too congested. So let's hope that everyone can complete. Some are on lap 3, some are on lap 4, and I'll be watching out for that, as it's a very interesting race now. There is some of the vision looking down the hill as we see the athletes come round at the bottom. It'll be great to see as they come up. If you get the camera from the top and look back down, it's a very steep hill indeed.
Fantastic, being driven up there by Bria Roderick. She's riding very strong and very confidently. The two Kiwi girls there on the front. So Eva Goodison and
so it's Goodison and Broderick up in that lead area.
Just controlling their energy levels now, just measuring their output, just trying to get up there as quickly as they can while conserving as much energy as they can. Because they're coming into, this will be fourth time up the hill.
Yep.
So halfway, 4 more times to go.
You just lose sight as they go round the corner, and the other group there will be coming down more in that streamline position as the other athletes are on the chase. Up they go again. Out of the saddle, pushing hard. Get that right gear, girls. Make sure you get up there. It's tough. These are hardened, well-trained athletes. They are racing in the standard Oceania Elite and Under 23 Championship here in Devonport, Tasmania. And if you're just joining us, again, a very warm welcome to the coverage. And down they come. It's from one extreme going up to the other extreme with a very swift downhill. Interesting to see if anyone else tries to make the move. There's been 1 or 2 little efforts to try and get away, Redders, but haven't been able to do so. This is all very familiar. It seems to be Emma Jevcoat after nearly every time comes down first, but they quickly get right onto her tail, right onto the back wheel. She can't get away. Although now you can see her there, she just put in a few extra. Is she waiting for them or deciding, come on, can you come with me?
Yeah, I think she's just doing a little bit of soft pedaling now, just to recover from the hill effort.
There she goes. You can see it. Look at that. She's gone out wide with the expectation that the rest of those girls in the chasing group are going to come with her. And so she thought, well, I'll pick my time when the race is on, Redders, and I know that I want to conserve some energy because I've got 10 Ks to run, let alone another 3 laps after this one as well.
Yeah, so Sarah McClure from New Zealand leading that group back up the hill as well. And this is our second chase group. So it's still Zoe Clark is still in there leading that group. So she fell away from that first group, but she's managed to find her legs and stay in this second group. So that's a great effort from her.
It certainly was. They go round tight. Nice work.
Yeah, so in that chase group, we've got Charlotte Derbyshire, Zoe Clark, Nicole Vanderkay from New Zealand's in there, Lauren Kerwick from Australia, Kira Hedgeland is in that group, and Desiree Ridenow from Canada just on the back of the group there going around the corner. And this is our third chase group, 2, 4, 6 athletes in that as well. So Ellie Hoyting's in there, Chloe Baitup, Amara Ray from New Zealand, Sarah McClure from New Zealand, and Sian Monks from Australia is there as well. And I think Olivia Cummings might be there as well.
So they do go round tight and push off. Terrific work, heads down, working hard. I think that was, Sarah McClure, as she went round there now.
And also Emma O'Brien from Ireland is in that group as well, the Irish athlete. Oh, there's Cummings. So she's lost contact with that group, so I'm not so sure what's happened there. Whether she had some bike issues or she just cracked on that climb.
Well, it does start to take it out of you slightly.
Oh yeah, they're starting to burn now. So they're coming in to complete their 4th lap.
There they go now. So halfway through the ride, they're really starting to sort it themselves out now, and it's as if this lead group, have they consoled themselves to think that they can't get away? Is there someone itching to sort of make their move? It's going to be fascinating to watch as this race unfolds.
Yeah, well, look, at some stage they're going to have to make some decisions about who do they think they can outrun and whether they need to make a break or they're confident in their running ability over 10 kilometres. So this will be really interesting, but we're only halfway through the bike. Anything can happen.
I was interested when you look up there, the very experienced Emma Jevcoat, who indeed came second in Napier, so really good form for her. Probably one of the elder statesmen, if you like, in that group. So what's she in 94, 30 years old?
As she mentioned in her interview, she's been to Devonport 9 times now to race, so she loves coming down here. She's won here. She's won solo here.
Yep.
She swam, bike and ran all on her own. It was a sprint distance, but still, she is strong enough to do it by herself. But, it's early days. You probably want to leave that for the last probably 10K if you're looking to get a bit of a buffer for the run.
Decorated career as well, Redders. You know, she's had 98 starts, 27 podiums and 15 wins. So she's used to being up that end. And today, I mean, still a fair way to go, obviously. But she's having a very nice race. She's pushing the girls when it gets to the hill. She comes down in front and then she just seems relaxed enough and confident enough to ease back a bit and rest up. So
we're a neat,
she's pushing the pace.
We're a neat 1 minute, so it's a 1 minute gap from the first group to the chase group.
Okay.
So it's just easing out a few seconds every lap.
It is, isn't it, mate? We said the previous lap it was 50 seconds, then 53, and so another 7 seconds on that, which again, for the uninitiated, thinking we can get up, but we know we've probably got a well-educated group watching this, Redders, and they'll know what a second means in triathlon.
Yeah, big shout out to everyone tuning in on our YouTube channel. Love seeing the comments pop up, so be happy to cheer on there. But this is Chloe Baitup coming through now with that third chase group sitting in there.
Yeah, Chloe, of course, is racing in the under 23s, as we mentioned before. I reckon in this race, it's probably evenly spread in the 31 competitors between the two divisions, if you like. But
yeah, what's in that group? Sarah McClure from New Zealand's in that third pack, along with Chloe Baitup. Ellie Hoiting, Shian Monks is also there. Amara Ray from New Zealand and Emma O'Brien from Ireland. Unfortunately, Olivia Cummings has lost touch with that group now, so she's dropped about 20 seconds to that group. Oh, here we go. That athlete is just being waved off the course. I just caught a glimpse of the official waving them off the course because I think they're about to be left, or they're being warned that they're going to be caught.
Okay.
So this will be interesting. Yep, well, they've pulled her off the course because it's about to be lapped up. Unfortunately,
well, these are the rules. Looks like the motorbike seems to be not in a great position, but they'll do their work. Who's that?
So unfortunately, that's Laura Gillard. So unfortunately, she's been lapped out. She'll be unable to continue today. That's unfortunate.
So I understand why you're looking.
You did mention the Canadian athlete who was, I think, in the third group, Desiree Ridnour. Of course, she won the in Napier, so she would have come in reasonably confident with such good form. Redders, world ranking of 92. She's had 61 starts, 13 podiums, and given that she won there, that took her win ratio up to 7. So winning form is good form. Bit of work to be done, but it's great to see her come across to Devonport.
Yeah, look, she's no stranger to Australia. She's been down here and trained many times and raced. She's actually in the second group, so
yeah,
so
second group.
So she's still in touch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that's right. So what did we say, mate? 57 odd seconds.
Yeah, we're just on the minute chase,
now,
so
sorry,
we'll get a time gap when they come back through. But this is the chase group with Ridnour from Canada towards the back of that group. We'll expect to see the lead group come over the brow of that hill any second now.
So as they go up,
and as
they'll come back down.
Whatever goes up has to come down, Hoppy.
And it comes down with pace.
And here
Look
they
at
come. And in the nice aero tuck of that head down, streamlined.
Still fascinating to watch the varying. It's Emma Jevcoat, you can see she tends to, it looks like she sits up, but she always seems to get to the front there, Redders. Look, there she goes. Very swift on this downhill.
She's got some great free speed down that hill.
Hasn't she?
And she rolls away.
Oh, look at that. Did she actually give a couple of extra pedals? Is this the little gap that she wants to get? Let's have a bit of a glance, or is she going to...
I think she's just using it to recover.
Yeah.
At some stage, I think it'll be interesting to see whether she's going to back her running form. I was going to say, we've got Rochelle Hill sitting in there, tucked in nice and tight.
Well, what happens though, Red, is the reality is these athletes understand, I guess, on paper what the form's like of the other athletes. You sort of know if you're a 33-minute 10K, 30, whatever it is, they are kind of understand that, and you think, and then you suddenly think to yourself, well, I'm feeling okay. I reckon I've got that person covered, depending on how you're feeling.
Well, look, it's really early in the season.
Yes,
and
that's right.
And a lot of these athletes have not raced a 2-hour race or had a 10K run off the bike, so they actually don't really know where their form's at. They've raced some sprint races, so I was giving them an idea, but oh my goodness, from
it's a different beast, right?
That 6.5 to 9K is pretty tough.
Yep.
And a lot of damage can happen in that back end of the run. So if they've done the work, they'll see if they can back themselves in. And who knows, they may have overridden, and these athletes in this chase group have got the legs to run through.
Well, that's the other thing too, mate, isn't it? It is a longer race, so if you are a very proficient runner, you do have the opportunity to run people down. As our riders coming around on that sharp bend.
And Ridenour is just losing contact all the time. I'm wondering whether she's just starting to feel a little bit of fatigue at that hill, or she's foxing.
Yes, fascinating to watch
So
as they come.
This is our lead group coming through.
So we've got, again, Roderick, Sasinski, Jevcoat, Goodison and Hill.
So 3 under 23s, 2 open competitors, 2 Kiwis, 3 Aussies.
Even, very evenly balanced.
Trans-Tasman is on.
It certainly is. Again, hello and a very warm welcome to our friends in New Zealand. If you are watching, we hope you're enjoying the coverage. We're having a fantastic day here. Craig Redmond and I had a wonderful day yesterday with our para triathletes, and today we've had the juniors, and now we've got the under 23s and the elite in the standard distances. They're just about to come up, and away they go, directly past us.
And the little pocket rocket, Rochelle Hill from Brisbane in Queensland, is absolutely rocketing along. And she's got a beautiful aero tuck, lovely cycling form. And she represented Australia at World Under 23s last year, so I'm sure she would love to punch her ticket to go to the Worlds again this year in Wollongong.
Well, in her 18 starts, she's had 5 podiums, and that one win, which was 2024 at the 2024 World Triathlon, that was in the Duathlon Championships in Townsville. So still working her way forward in the tries. She had a terrific race though in Napier, finished a very, very creditable 8th position as the girls go past us again, because they go past us twice. They go past, excuse me, as the other group come down further in towards Devonport City and back around, so we get a fantastic view as they're the chase group going. What time have we got there?
We'll just get a time split. So we've just clicked over 1 hour and 1 minute and 43 seconds for the lead pack, and the chase pack's gone through in 1:02:49. So it's eked out. So we're around that 66 seconds. So a minute.
Oh,
minute,
again, another
minute,
6
minute
seconds.
And 6. So another 6 seconds. So they're just eking out that 5 to 10 seconds a lap. Yeah. So 106 to that group, and so. What are we, lap 5 down, so still got 3 laps to go. If they keep eking out another, they lose another 30 seconds, it's going to be pretty tough to catch this group on the run.
So they will work together, and you can just see that's the chase group, I think, there, because that's, I saw.
Yep, Lauren Kerwick was leading that group in the chase
Canada,
group.
because she's quite obvious in the red outfit.
Yeah, Lauren Kirk was leading that group through, and this is our 3rd pack coming through. You can see Ray from New Zealand sitting there on the back, and we'll get a time split for those. So they're coming through in around 1:03:43. So they're about a minute down on the 2nd pack.
Yep.
And then 2 minutes down on the lead pack.
Okay. That's interesting as the girls stay in formation. All just trying to stay in whichever group they are to give themselves the best possible chance on that finish to get to the running area.
So we're an hour into the racing. The fatigue's starting to set in. Who's drinking? Who's hydrating? Can be very deceiving here. Hopping in Tassie, it's not so hot, but it is warming up. We're noticing it's getting a little bit warmer, and you can be a trap in Devonport if you don't hydrate. You are really going to pay for it at the back end of the run. So they need to be starting to think about their hydration. They need to be thinking about if they need to take energy gels during the last sort of 10k of the bike to set themselves up for the run. So there's a lot of things I've got to think about and make decisions about during this race.
Hasn't so many things been on the improve, Redders, over the years in relation to the sports science in relation to the training techniques, but also about what one fuels your body with, what works best. And I was very rudimentary when I was doing things, but you always, tried some variety of different things in training so that you know it works in the race. But these guys here, they have their coaches, and they also have some, really good advice on their nutrition as well, and when and what time to take it.
Yeah, look, they do a lot of work in that area now. There's some amazing advice from some incredible professionals within the Australian High Performance Network with the AIS and the CISAS networks, and same with the New Zealand High Performance programs. They have incredible professionals in that nutrition that work with these athletes, and a lot of things around core body temperature cooling in really hot races, to nutrition, to hydration. One of the biggest advances that's come in the sport of athletics is running shoes. Back in our day when we had the flat, and now they've got that's one of the biggest advances that's come along in the sport, probably in the last few years.
Yeah, they have that, what is like the carbon fibre in it. Have you had a crack at those?
No.
No, it hasn't, but I was itching. So, again, I've got a young friend who's racing tomorrow, young Tommy Franks, and all the best to you, Tom. And I was having a look at his shoes, and I tried to squeeze them on. That said, I take size 14, is a bit smaller. But I couldn't believe the shoes. And he actually explains how it's almost like on a trampoline, the way he bounds down the road. But then they only have a very short shelf life.
Yep.
Then you're having to change them, and extremely expensive too.
So here we go, the lead pack coming screaming back down the hill, our lead group of 5, chase pack going up the hill. Nice, neat tack, great bike skills there. Getting into a really tight tuck, streamlined, getting the most aero advantage they can get before they come around. Jeff Coate leads them around that corner. Rochelle Hill's tucked in nice and tight behind them. And these guys will come back, and we'll have 2 laps to go when they finish this lap from my calculations.
You're absolutely right. So we've got bike lap, we're on 6 when they come across, and they're still usual. Jeff Coate leads there, and then they get nice and tight. It's Rochelle Hill that goes through again.
So this is our 3rd chase pack coming up the hill now, which is about 2 minutes down on the leaders. I think Sarah McClure from New Zealand is leading that group up the hill. Emma O'Brien from Ireland is in that group. Chloe Botup as well. And the Irish girl, Emma O'Brien, leading them up, looking very strong on that hill. It's certainly starting to bite.
It is starting to bite, isn't it? It's really funny, the differences in their faces in compared to the sprints, because they go up that hill 8 times, and that is a challenge. Pushing hard now, coming around.
It's Lauren Kerwick leading that group out, just starting to open up a gap. Nicole Vanderkay going with that will. She's a very seasoned athlete. Once I said, coming off the Paris Olympic Games, is very early in her campaign.
It must be such a huge high, Redders, when you put so much build-up into one event like that. So you would need some recovery, not only physically, but I reckon more importantly emotionally.
Yeah, look, and it's not only just the games, like it's the whole selection process.
It's
such a stressful thing to do, and you finally get selected, you go to the games, such a big build-up. And then for a lot of these athletes, there's more races later in the season for the World Championships, and so, most of them have got to have a long break, not only for the physical break, but also the mental break, and then it takes a little bit of time to get back, and so you don't expect too much in year 1 of a new Olympic cycle. So obviously people want to get ready for the World Championships later in the year, but this is a good test to see where their fitness is at.
Yeah, it's certainly a test, all right. As pushing down now, there is Sasinski, who's just gone out in the front of Roderick.
So getting 2 laps to go. So 2 laps to go, probably 10 kilometres left. This will be really interesting. Do they sit up and start to think about the run, or is the Emma Jeff Coates also going to think, gee, I really need to open up a little gap here?
I'm tipping someone's going to have a crack. I just sense that within this they've been almost becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. And I reckon it's going to be time that one or two are going to lay down the law, whether it be this lap or the next.
This is going to be really interesting, this race. So if it hasn't done too much, I really think, like, Tara Sasinski obviously is racing very well. She led out of the water, almost doing a Jack Caldwell from the junior race.
Yep.
Riding great position, looking well. So it'll be interesting to see how her run legs are. But I've got a feeling, thinking that Rochelle Hill may be the dark horse in this race. She's seasoned, she runs well, she's driving the train, and here comes the chase pack back through now. Zoe Clark leading that.
Sorry, mate, I was just saying it looked quite fascinating for me just a few minutes ago. Bree Roderick was turning around and almost trying to have a conversation. I was wondering if those wily old New Zealanders with Eva Goodison as well, sort of saying, come on, this is where we might go together. So we'll keep an eye on that. And
so our time gap is around 110.
Okay.
110. So they managed to sort of
hold it
stem the bleeding a little bit on that lap.
Yep.
So that's probably a good sign, and maybe the front pack's going to start to think about the run and back off a little bit. And if these guys can eat in, even if it's only 20, 30 seconds into that minute, then they're in striking range easily for the run.
Yep. So the girls, well bunched up, they're certainly getting to know each other as they push on, and they're going out along Bass straight out to on their right hand side. Of course, they won't be enjoying those beautiful vistas that all of our very dear friends who are watching this, they are concentrating on the tarmac and pushing down hard.
And Desiree Redknapp just looked like she was off the back of that group a little bit, so hopefully she can hang on to get up that hill 2 more times. And this is our third chase pack coming through now. We'll just get a time split on those as well. So they've gone through in 1:12.18. So they've lost a little bit more, 2 minutes 15 to the lead pack for the third chase group.
Okay. So there we have back to the transition area along that straight there, and the riders going past with a fair old pace indeed. It is the 40 kilometres. Here they go up the hill.
The challenge for these ladies is we've got to stay away from that chase pack. We can't let them get to us because we'll be lapped out, and all that work for 30 odd kilometres to be lapped out. So that'll be their goal.
I'm pretty sure read as who it was who dropped out of the race.
Laura Gillard.
It was it?
Yeah. And so Charlotte Hall was probably the next one back from Hong Kong.
Yeah,
was that going up the hill for? And here comes our lead pack to go up the hill for the second last time.
This is where it's going to be interesting for these young ladies. Hill, whom was leading it up the thing. Well, Jev Cope, for me, was the one who has been really going well on the hill. She's still in the saddle, but she seems to have always come down first, all but she seems to be relaxed in the way she goes about it. And here, as predicted, look at Hill. She's pushing hard up on the inside.
Yeah, she's a little pocket rocket, isn't she? She just rockets up that hill, leads them around. And it just looks like they're just trying to ease the energy dose. They're trying to conserve energy here. They're riding as hard as they can while trying to conserve energy, getting ready for the run.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch the different styles as they make that assault on North Street Hill. And always see, we know that Jev Cote just sitting in behind there. So it's a nice feeling when you get to there and can get back on your saddle.
Just got to make sure that Goodison doesn't lose contact here. She needs to just stay in touch, get around that far turn, and then she gets a little bit of a rest back down the hill.
So that's that undulating area that we spoke of. It's a little bit of down, then slightly up. Yeah, as we say, you put her in angel gear. Have a look at that lay in front of you.
And here comes the chase pack as well. They look close, but they've got to get up the hill.
And well, that's the thing. They are. It is, but the hills is the key factor. Down they come. Going very swiftly. Jeffcoat just seems to get toward the front. Look at it just going easily. And Hill just sort of looks like she's working. Just a grimace on her face, isn't it?
We can assure the viewers that we're not replaying the same corner every time
every
down.
time, isn't it?
It's Rochelle Hill comes down and
Jeffcoat
just gets her on the corner.
And she'll push hard, and it's almost like she goes, come on, girls, in you come.
We'll sit
Let's
up.
get in order. Yep.
Yeah, she certainly gets a little bit, just a bit more free speed on that descent, rolling speed.
Wipe the old hooter there and get rid of some of the sweat. And let's get up together.
And I just get the feeling they're starting to think about the run now.
Yep.
So that's our third chase pack there.
They're working, and that's the one.
Oh, we've got a gear problem there.
Oh, that's
who is that? I'm trying to get the number. Is it Bait-Up? I think it might be Chloe Bait-Up. She's dropped the chain. It does happen. It does happen. You get fatigued and you forget about it. You've really got to be in your right gear. But as soon as you come around that corner, you don't want to be changing gears as soon as you're putting that pressure on the chain.
Oh, mate. So when you're on lap, lap 7, you put in so much, you don't want anything to happen to your bike.
That's terrible. So hopefully she can recover and get back in, but
it's tough.
It's going to be hard because once again you're in that part of the hill where it's very hard to start back up on your bike. You've almost got to roll back down the hill and come back up when you're that close to the bottom.
So there is Emma O'Brien that goes up through. It's Hoytick as well. And there's one of the chase groups there, Redders.
You can see Charlotte Derbyshire there, and Ridnow's in that. So she's having a good race too, Charlotte Derbyshire in that chase pack. And here we go. She's got the chain back on. She's back up the hill, but it is Chloe Bait-Up, so that's tragic for her.
Yeah,
anyway,
she's having a good crack at it.
Yeah, so look, she's touched group now, so she's now got to roll solo for the last 7K or so.
This is where it really does play the mind games, Red, isn't it? You've got to be really strong in your mind because, well, you got choices, right? Do you give it away and sort of think, my race is done, but you've just got to show some spirit and you've got to finish. And it's talking about learning experiences, that's when you understand to dig deep and know what you're made of.
Yep. You know, it's all part of your race planning, and under fatigue you make poor decisions, and you know, forgetting not to be in your right gear. So our lead pack's coming through. They'll be pretty much coming through to get the Bell lap.
There they go.
And they are. So 5K to go, Bell lap. I'm sure they're pretty glad to hear that, knowing they've only got to go up that hill one more time. And once again, little pocket rocket Rochelle Hill is leading them through to complete 7 laps.
So it is Rochelle Hill, Eva Goodison, Emma Jeffcoat, Brie Roderick and Tara Szynski in that lead area. And they're gone through, in 1:18.29. So I know, Redders, you'll keep a very, very close eye on the clock to see if that chasing group are making any impression at all on that lead group of 6 competitors.
Yeah, look, a minute lead for a run is very handy for anybody. So
and there they go, they've gone through again, and they just sort of change gently. Hill leads for a while, there's Jeffcoat for a while, Goodison. They're all having a bit of a crack up there, aren't they?
Yeah.
They don't mind it at all.
And our chase group led by Kiwi Nicole Vanderkay is now coming through. We'll get a clock on this to see where they land.
So it is, as you said, Vanderkay who brings them through to try and get the chase. There's a couple of New Zealanders up in front, and just at the back of that group is Ridnow from Canada.
Yeah, look, it's around 1 minute 16. It's gone out another sort of 10 seconds, so just easing out, aren't they? They're just losing that time. Yeah, so 1:18.28 to 1:19.40, 1 hour 19:45. So
it'll be somewhere near, I don't know, 1:20, maybe 1:30. That's tough. In your experience, could you perceive that there is anyone with the running capacity in that group that is behind to catch up, Redders? I'll let you ponder that. If anyone knows the form of these athletes, it is you. But at the moment, it is the young ladies in front doing a wonderful, wonderful job. That was Van der Kay, who we just saw leading that gate through, with Desiree Ridnow following on.
Yeah, you'd like to think Ridnow's got the running capacity to bridge some time there, but look, it looks like she's struggling a little bit with the hill. We'll see how she goes, but 8 times up can sting you for the run. But there is some good runners in there, and our third chase group is coming through now as well, so we'll try and get a split on those. So they've gone through in 1 hour 21 minutes and 2 seconds, so they're sitting about 1:18 behind the chase group.
Yep.
So they're getting out to losing a lot of time to the chase group.
Okay, so the girls are on their last lap.
Interestingly, the podiums for the under-23 race is all in this front group as well. So it's going to have to be a sensational.
You know
run
what?
from
I
the
don't
chase
even
group.
know that they'll be thinking who's in what, will they? I mean, of course they are, mate. But they want to win this race no matter what, wouldn't they? What a feather in their cap if they can do that. But it'd be somewhat hollow if you're the winner of the elite, but you're second, third or fourth or something like that. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle it, don't get me wrong, but they'll want to make sure they get home first, these young ladies. Gee, they're fantastic. Look at them go.
Well, you know, it's good thing you're saying. Like, the reality is that it's such a prestigious race with so many big names that have won this race in the past.
Very much so.
And for these athletes to win it in the 40th anniversary of the race, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I know you attended a function last night, and one of the people that was so crucial in getting the event going was honoured last night.
Yeah, the original race director. He was ahead of his time way back in the 1985 when we first ran this event. Royce Fairbrother was awarded a Service to Sport award from Oz Triathlon. And so Tim Harradine, the CEO, presented him with an award, and he's been a long time supporter of triathlon. He's raced in age group championships himself. He's been supporting triathlon junior development for over 25 years in Tasmania. So a legend, and the Devonport Triathlon wouldn't have existed without people like Royce Fairbrother and Mike Gunson and Malcolm Wells and Richard Bogle, who was there last night. So it was fantastic. We also said farewell to a little bit of a farewell tour for legend photographer Delly Carr as well.
Yeah,
so
okay.
He's sort of retiring, so he's doing his last sort of year doing all the Australian circuits. So it'll be sad to say bye to Delly and not to see the photo ninja out on the course, but it was great. It was great to see him off. Quite emotional night, actually. And here we go. Speaking of emotional,
look at this.
This is the chase group going up for the last time as the lead group are screaming down the other side.
Oh, look here.
And we have got an attack. That's
that
fantastic.
Hill? I think that might be Hill. She's quite distinctive. She gets down low.
She's got great streamline, gets down low across that.
We know who's second.
bar.
That's Jevcoat. We can tell her. I'm pretty sure that's Hill. Is it?
We've seen something different. So Rochelle Hill will lead him around the corner for the last time.
This is
on the
interesting.
bike.
Look here. She's trying to get away.
She's got herself in a good position.
But just like a great white shark, just circling their prey, they swoop and swallow her up. Look at that. Brilliant work by these riders. They're almost counting every time someone makes a little bit of an effort. They just pull them back. They want to be together when they get on that run. So it is their last lap. Rochelle Hill, just for a minute, thought she might have made a bit of a break, but she has now been caught. And of course, Jevcoat, she looks somewhat deceptive because she almost seems to sit up, but she seems to go the fastest, and she's in total control
as we
of the
down,
bike.
Look down towards Coles Beach Road, on the bike leg. As you can see, it's just a little bit of a windy road, and there's little gaps in the trees that can hitch with the crosswinds on windy days. but it's almost perfect today.
So here is that chase group coming down around this corner.
Zoe Clark, who we had a word with earlier on, still right there. Charlotte Derbyshire's there. Kira Hedgeland, Riddenau's there. There's some good runners in this group.
Yeah, there are.
Nicole Vanderkooy certainly can run as well. So Lauren Curry can run. So look, there's actually some. If I've gone too hard in the front group, there's certainly some number of girls here that can run through.
As they go round, this is for their last time. Working hard. Back around the corner. And the other girls will come over the crest. And down that big hill, the North Street Hill.
So we shouldn't be too far away from seeing our lead group coming into T2, and that's critical, Hoppy, making sure that they. There's some of our fans, a local age group triathlete there, and Danny Keefe. Big shout out to Danny, who's been racing Devonport Triathlon for many, many years.
Great to see, isn't it? Could be the future world champ. Just watching on, being inspired here today by these very elite athletes.
Yeah, well, we certainly mentioned. How having races of this calibre in regional Australia is so important, because you know guys like Craig Walton went on to the Olympics, and Jake Boatwhistle saw athletes racing and wanted to do that, and here they come into transition. Emma Jeffcoates leading them in with Goodison right there, Roderick in third, Rochelle Hill and Tara Sasinski. So who's the runners in this? It'll be interesting to see their form when they come out. The under-23s probably haven't quite done the mileage yet for a hard 10K run off a really tough bike. But this will be very, very interesting. They'll be coming in running to their bikes, and they'll be just assessing how the legs feel, how's my breathing, how's my rate, while trying to have a really smooth transition.
And of course, not only when you come in here, it's when the crowd get behind you, your friends and family are there watching and urging you on.
So Rochelle Hill, she's away. Who's out? I think it's the Kiwi. Goodison is going to be first out, and it is. Fantastic. So Eva Goodison leads them out onto the 10K run, and Bria Roderick's right there as well. Rochelle Hill's in second, Roderick's in third, Jeff Coates in fourth. Tara Sinsiski was a little bit behind coming out of T2, but she is a class runner as well, so this is going to be a cracker.
As we continually say, Craig Redmond, it's all about that transition, isn't it? So the girls were in there locked together, and that gap was incredible. All of a sudden, it's hard to tell if you're watching on the screen, but they went past us, and it was, I don't know, what was it, 20 metres or so?
Yeah, it was pretty close. And Nicole Vanderkooy is now into transition. So they've closed a bit of time down, I believe, in that lace group. So Lauren Kerwick there from New South Wales, Nicole Vanderkooy in that group. Kira Hedgeland's there. Charlotte Derbyshire is certainly a good runner.
Absolutely.
And obviously Zoe Clark, who we heard from before. And this will be really interesting to get this time split to see where they're at.
Okay, so it was Goodison at 1:27.52, 2 seconds to Hill, another 2 seconds to Roderick and Jevcoat, and another 2 seconds to Sasinski, and then a little bit further back there. So you've got your eye on it, and we look out there, Redders, and it looks like Rochelle Hill has taken the lead.
Yeah, and look, it's around a 1/22 gap from the first group to the second group, from the lead thing. But Rochelle Hill, she can run. She's a talented runner. Her mum was a talented runner. She's an Olympian. So it's in the genes here. And Rochelle, the under-23 athlete, is going out very, very strong. Early days.
Gee whiz, look at her go. She was I think about second, maybe third a few seconds ago, and look at her fly early in the stages of the 10-kilometre run.
She's certainly got the run pedigree, and she's going hard early, so fantastic running from her.
It's sometimes, for the uninitiated, hard to imagine that you can see someone running this hard. So what I challenge someone to do is, when you're on a treadmill, put it at this pace and see how you travel. So there it is, running really, really hard up the hill. Sorry, on the flat, now, and she's going very, very nicely.
So we've just got one of the coaches from Oz Triathlon in the booth for a couple of minutes, Hoppy. I want to, Rena Hill, you're there sitting there watching the screen with us. You're looking at your daughter leading the Oceania Championships here in Devonport. How are you feeling, Mum?
Oh, I couldn't be prouder, honestly, because she nailed the parts that she really needed to do today. She's confident with her running. It's been going really well. She's got her watch there. She's got a pace that she's sitting on. She just needed to get that swim right today, get out with that front pack. She's got control on the bike there that she's just been working really, really hard on. So yeah, it's good to see her. She's looking comfortable there, which is good. Surprising after 8 laps on that hill.
She was really impressive on the bike on the hill. She was riding a really good aero position coming down and getting maximum value for the descent. She just looked like she switched on for today.
Oh, definitely. I think that pack was quite good. They were really working well together. That was the feedback I was getting. I was just sitting on the hill there, and they all looked like they were pretty in control up that hill. But I think Rochelle obviously was holding enough back that she could get herself into a good rhythm on her run here, so which is really good to see.
Yeah, look, going back to that bike, they just seem to be eking about 10 seconds a lap on the chase group and just getting it out, so to about a minute 20 lead. Curious, you talked about her run pace. What sort of pacing is she aiming to run today?
I think she's going to try and sit on her 3:30 pace. I'm hoping she's actually looking at that watch. I haven't seen her look down too much. I think she's just going off feel. She feels pretty confident that the rhythm that she's going to get into, that she's something she's going to sustain. So I think that's what she's going to be sitting on, because she's been doing it day in, day out, feeling comfortable at a 3:30 pace. So, yeah, hopefully he's still got the legs after those hills.
Now, Rita, you've been to Devonport many times in the past as an athlete. What's your experience of Devonport?
Oh, it's a fantastic race. We were just talking up on the hill to a few of the younger kids, and that they've never done anything like this. And I said, well, this is one of the few races that you do have something that's really really grippy to have to go after on the bike ride, because a lot of them you do find that they're very flat courses and a little bit boring, whereas that was quite exciting being up on the hill and seeing their faces, seeing the expressions, and you know, I mean, there wasn't actually a lot of talking. I think there was just a bit of heavy breathing going up the hill there, but I think it'd be nice to see a few more courses like this. It's so challenging and exciting to see.
So I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but who's your pick for the race win?
Well, at this stage, yeah, Rochelle Hill's looking pretty good.
She is looking very good. Early days, as you know, the back end of the run can do some damage here, but right now she's in a great position. So
well, hopefully she's been fueling as well. I think she looks like she's taking something there.
She's
so
got
that's
a jelly.
good to know. That's
good work.
Yeah. She knows she's got to be a bit of a thinker when she races now, and especially over the standard distance. It's a lot different to the sprint. You can kind of get away with a few things on the sprint, but you've got to really be up on your nutrition and that right through the race, and she'll be looking around to see where everybody is.
And it can be a trap in Devonport because it tends to be a little bit cooler too, so you do forget to drink during the race. So, Coach, from a coaching perspective, what's the plans for Rochelle moving forward?
Well, it was really to get the job done today, so we could tick that box for getting Worlds qualifying. Then she's got a couple of races over the next couple of weeks. She's got a long one next week. She likes to sort of mix it up a bit. And she may do Mooloolaba. I'm not sure which one she's going to do, whether she's going to do the standard or she's going to do the sprint now that it's been moved to there. Then we're heading off overseas in May. She's got herself into a French team that she's going to be competing in a couple of races over there, which will be great experience for her, get her over that swim worry.
It's a rite of passage for Australian athletes to race for a French club.
It is. So she's pretty excited about that, and then we'll be back. She'll be back in July, getting prepared for Worlds then.
All right, we'll let you go back out on the course and cheer her on. But thank you so much for your time.
No worries. See ya.
And that was Rochelle Hill's mum and coach, Rena Hill, former Olympian, pro athlete, done very well here in Devonport over the years herself, and she's back out to cheer her daughter on, hopefully to a win.
It's great insights there, though, wasn't it? I was fascinated in her sort of saying, nope, 3:30, that's the pace she set. She looks like she's going on that. Not cocky, but just seemed comfortable in how she looks. That's what I thought, and almost like she's done the body of work. So let's see how she goes. It just looks to be straining slightly there, but she's also was suggesting that continue to look at this watch so she knows what pace she's going at.
Yeah, look, it's really interesting that her comments were she's executed the race plan, and
Yes.
athletes come in with a race plan, and it's all around their pacing and where they need to be and their nutrition, and it's so much things about thinking you've got to be in that race. But look, let's try and get an update. They'll come through to finish their first lap of the run, and so we'll try and get an update who's moving in now. Looks like it's Eva Goodison coming through from New Zealand.
Yep.
On that, and Tara Stasiski, but we'll get you an update of who's who once they complete this first lap. We do know that Rochelle Hill is leading. That's Tara Stasiski going through as well.
Just back on that, Redders, was interesting to hear the strategy. Let's get this race ticked off because that's the qualification for Worlds. So it's let's don't worry about having to do it in the season. Interesting strategy. Let's train up. It was almost like with prep for this race, for this moment, so that Rochelle can go to the Worlds. So I was actually quite interested to hear that, as it is Eva Goodison who comes round, and she just doesn't look to be going at that pace that Rochelle Hill is, although that will start to change. She's getting comfortable now. It doesn't seem to be going quite as fast as what she was a few minutes ago, but looks pretty good. And there is Tara Sasinski, who is pushing up around the corner.
Look, Eva's only sitting. She's not that far behind. She's 8:40, so she's only about 20 seconds behind at the moment from Michelle. So she's certainly in touching distance.
Oh yeah, I agree. And it was interesting to see Brie Roderick there as well. She's got that ice headband around. Yep. Which actually is an interesting thing, can sometimes give you a bit of... Look at the way Kerwick, look at her cadence there. She's really flying.
Yeah, she's a talented runner, Lauren. And so there's some good runners in that chase back, and I'm getting feedback from out on the course that Lauren Kerwick is actually flying.
I just saw her then, mate. There was no doubt about it. She was going very, very strongly.
And it just looks like...
Whoa.
Rochelle is just sitting down. Kira Hedgeland's moving along quite well, but here's our leader, Rochelle Hill. She's controlled and composed. She's got a place plan. She's going to stick to that. But Lauren Kerwick is running on a mission, so we'll get a split on that.
Yeah, the interesting thing with that, Ritters, is that Kerwick is sort of a little bit out of Rochelle Hill's thinking in a way. She's not actually looking back for her, but I guess when she gets to the turn, but it's another 1.25 kilometres down the road, then she'll understand, whoa, look at this girl, she's really catching up. I might have to change my pace.
So Rochelle Hill went through the first lap in 1 hour 36.32. Eva Goodison from New Zealand went through 1 hour 36.53. In third place at the moment, Tara Sasinski, 1 hour 37.3, so about 10 seconds behind, and another 17 seconds back to Bria Roderick from New Zealand, and then Emma Jeffcoat in fifth. But Lauren Kerwick has just caught, or about to catch, Emma Jeffcoat and move into fifth.
Yeah, it's Lauren Kerwick at this stage is the one just to watch slightly, although she's well back. It's just that her pace is there, depending if she can keep that up. Because it is longer, Redders, on the 10K, if she can maintain that form.
And here's Ellie Hoyting coming through. She was in the third chase group, so she's making up a little bit of ground as well. Moving quite well.
Yeah, she is. So,
and don't forget, it was 8 times up that hill. So, as we said before, the back end of the run, that last 2 to 3K, there can be a lot of damage for the athletes that overrode and pushed too hard.
Yep. So it was Hoytik, and here comes Amara Ray. She's probably come up a couple of positions as well here, Redders, was from the last bit of the race because of when she went through, and there she goes as she goes around the turn and pushes off very swiftly. And the next group, very deceptive those screens, but it is interesting when you do go around the corner and you see other people coming like McClure and O'Brien from Ireland. Have a look, they pushing up. Yeah. Very different styles there. Redders, Ireland is upright, you can see there. Not clenching a fist, but a little bit tighter, as McClure looks a little bit more relaxed. And oh, look, there's a couple of ugly heads, as they can see. A big shout out. Here we are in the commentary booth. As back to our leader,
Rochelle Hill.
That is Rochelle Hill.
Doing really, really well. Good form, still got good body carriage, running, just ticking it over, controlling it. And she has the luxury, if you like, of being able to control her pace.
Yes.
You know, they would have come in with a race plan going, you know what, we run this time, we can win the race, and everyone else has got to extend to catch it. So I think she's got another gear there. She certainly moves very well. Lovely style, good turnover, good rating. And who's this guy? So there's Eva Goodison. So that's our silver medalist at the moment from New Zealand. Tara Sosinski is still there in third place. And Lauren Kerwick is, I know it's a bit distorted with the view, but she's moved into fourth place. And she is going to get Tara Sosinski, and I reckon she's going to get it before the turnaround. And
mate, she's coming from the clouds at the minute. She was sort of down 8th, up to 6th.
Now, she's always a junior athlete. She's always an incredibly talented athlete, runner. Had some injuries, had some issues. This is a fantastic race from her. And she has got a big target on Sosinski's back. And so Lauren Kerwick, she has come from the chase pack and is now in fourth place.
Well, I have to say, there, Redders, I was just sort of sitting back in my chair feeling comfortable. I've just gone a little bit forward to the front of my chair now as I'm sitting on the edge with great interest at this race.
And
it's been Rochelle Hill who's been controlling it.
So Bria Roderick is now in fifth place, I should say. Nicole Vanderkay has actually gone. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah,
Nicole Vanderkay has caught Roderick, and she's moved in as well. So there we go.
Chopping and changing.
The two runners from the chase pack. So Nicole Vanderkay and Lauren Kerwick are hunting through that pack.
There she goes.
She has a little look at Ellie Hoytink going the other way, but she's coming up to coming around the bend. So
we're going to have a bit of a visual ourselves in a minute from our vantage point. Interesting enough, just holding on to that watch, Redders, instead of slapping it around the old wrist. Just to keep an eye on things. Whatever works for you is what I say.
Well, we always go back to the good old days when Peter Robbo Robinson used to run with his running sticks. It is a good. Some people use it to help relax the upper body. And
yes,
Robbo loved his running sticks, and that might just help Rochelle with just having the watch in her hand instead of on her wrist.
So that's the reality too. Sometimes you'll see some people running in the park or whatever and a grimace of the face and they clench their fists as if they think they're going to be trying harder. The key is, isn't it, to just try and be as relaxed as is possible. You don't want to exert any energy to parts of the body that aren't going to assist to propel you going forward. Let's be clear on that. So there is Rochelle Hill going very, very nicely. This fine young athlete. She's moving very, very nicely. As we heard just a few minutes ago from her coach, that she certainly set herself for this race. The preparation is that she thinks that she'll be able to maintain about a 3:30 for the 10K. That's what she has been doing in practice, and she hopes to achieve in the race environment, which of course is a little bit different.
Yeah, look, she's coming up past the football ground. So for the juniors, they were finishing now, but unfortunately for Rochelle, she's only halfway. So she's controlling her run, but she's certainly got to get herself. Just keep an eye on that. Still stick to your race plan. You don't change that. You stick to your pacing. That's your plan. But still have something up her sleeve if Lauren Kerwick is making inroads into her. And from the vision that we were seeing before, she certainly is coming.
So there we see with athletes going out and our leader, Rochelle Hill, coming back. And this is all but at the halfway mark very, very shortly of her run. She's just approaching. There she comes now. We can, it's just about to head past us. We'll get a good look at her close up here. Redders on a form, but from that vision there, gee, she looks comfortable.
She is moving very, very well.
Crowd here is building, urging her on.
I don't know if that was caught a glimpse of my brother in the crowd, but
Your brother in the crowd. Now, he was the best triathlete there.
oh, have a look in there. So Lauren Kerwick has moved into silver medal.
Oi.
She's caught Goodison, and she is flying. Now the question is, has she gone too hard in the first 5K? Can she back it up?
Look at that,
But
Redders.
she
Look
is-
at the determination on her face.
She is on fire, and we'll get a time split here as they come through.
Look at a bit of a stumble and then pushes off and goes very, very quickly. This is, dare I say it, quite exciting for us. We're not barracking for anyone. We're just interested in a good race. But
Yeah,
Lauren Kerwick now, mate.
Rochelle Hill went through in 1 hour 45:22. Lauren Kerwick's come through in 1 hour 45:54. So it is on for Donkey Kong. So 8:34. So she has made up a lot of ground. 5K to go, a lot can happen. And Nicole Vanderkay is also running very, very well. She's about to pick up Tara Sasinski, and she could well end up on the podium as well. We're only halfway through the run, and the two chase packers. So New Zealand, get behind your girls. Nicole Vanderkay is out hunting after Eva Goodison and Tara Sasinski as well to try and climb onto that podium.
It's almost like with these races in the standard distance, Redders, there's a lot more can happen here. There's, in the 5K it's a real flyer. In the 10 kilometre, let's be clear, for the normal human being, that's a fair distance to run. And at this pace, it is after you've swum out in the ocean and you've gone up a mountain 8 times. This is tough work. So fascinating racing here in Devonport. It is the 2025 Oceania Elite and Under 23 Standard Championships. And as we saw there, it was Rochelle Hill who is leading the troops out, and it is Lauren Kerwick who is trying to chase her down.
That's been a massive run. Has she overextended that first fight? Has she overrun? It's still a long way to go. We've seen it before where they've got a bit exuberant, ran the first 5K too hard. You can see her way back there in the background. Rochelle, she's got a target on her back, so she can just keep pecking her off. She doesn't have to catch her in the next 3K. She's got 4.5K to catch her in.
Yep.
So Rochelle, she's just got to keep control, stick to a race plan, knowing she's got a little bit in reserve if she needs to. But wow, what a race!
Yeah, it is. It certainly is a race. Because it is 3:05 in the afternoon in Devonport. It appears that it's like the Sunday afternoon out. Redders, there's building people everywhere now, lining the streets, especially in the start-finishing line area, urging these very elite athletes on, wishing them well, as it is Rochelle Hill, as we can see from our vantage point. And there are some of the more relaxed people. They're not running. Who knows? There could be the world champion of the future right there. You can't be what you can't see, and that's why it's so great that we thank all the premier partners and Events Tasmania for bringing this event to Devonport, and all the organisers, because it's a wonderful thing to have in Tasmania, Redders.
And right here, right now, is when the run really gets tough, because you're on the far end of the turnaround. You've got to come back. You've got another lap to go. So the mind can play games on you. You've got to stay tough. You've got to stay to your form. And this is where the wheels can fall off from that 6, 7, 8K mark. So let's hope that Rochelle can hold her form. She still looks strong. She's still got a cadence. But Lauren Kerwick is in the background. It is a bit distorted, so we will get a time gap on it. But certainly at the moment, she is coming like a freight train.
So here we go now as she's gone round. To me, it looks like Kerwick's not running at that same pace, but very determined nonetheless. she's got up into that second position and seems to be in good enough form to hold that off. But it's just on that turnaround, Ritters, in the previous ones, she really came round there and pushed off, and that time just slowed slightly.
Yeah, look, she'll be starting to hurt now. Look, she's ridden hard, she's chasing. But I've got the time gap at around 20 seconds, so it's still close.
Yep.
Here's Eva Goodison in third place, but she's about to be caught by her countrywoman in the veteran, I guess, in a little way, is Nicole van der Kay.
She's a ripper.
And Nicole is coming through as well, so a big run from her to make up that group. Tara Sasinski is hanging tough as well. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the top 5 there. 2 of those have come from the chase pack, so who'd have thought?
Gee whiz, here we were. Smarty Pants 1 and Smarty Pants 2 sort of thinking the races within that. And these girls have chased them down. Terrific work. Why would we think anything less of an elite athlete like Nicole van der Kay? She's just so consistent, a wonderful athlete representing New Zealand at the moment. It's Rochelle Hill making every post a winner, but Lauren Kerwick is still trying to put some pressure on her.
Yeah, look, she's still looking.
She looks good.
She's still looking relaxed and comfortable. She'll be getting some time checks from coaches out on the course, knowing that look, you're doing the maths in your head.
Yep.
Saying 20 seconds. You do that with Kay. She's got to make up 10 seconds a kilometre. Can she do that? I don't think she can. I can hold that. And they're the sort of things that are going on in your head, whether you can hold them at bay. But if she sticks to a race plan, I think she's going to be okay. But oh my goodness, there's still about 3K to go here, so anything could happen.
Well, Lauren Kerwick, she's had 12 starts, 1 podium, and no wins. So there's a fair bit of motivation for her, Redders, to really, see what output she's got on her body.
Yeah, we're looking in that crowd shot a little bit before, and I did spy a former triathlete that became not a bad cyclist by the name of Richie Port was here in the crowd as well. So big shout out to Richie Port. There's some more crowd right there. So Richie's come down to watch the athletes. He started in triathlon, loved triathlons, raced this race many times, and then went on to have Tour de France success as a cyclist.
Absolutely.
And a very proud and passionate Tasmanian that still lives in Tasmania.
Which is brilliant, and so to him, hats off to you on a wonderful career. And here is Rochelle Hill going very nicely. She, to me, still looks pretty comfortable, Redders.
Yeah, no, she's sticking to a race plan. She knows that she can run this pace, so she doesn't have to do anything silly. She's done all the work on the bike to build up that lead. And this is a sign of confidence of an athlete and a mature athlete.
I was going to say maturity, I think, is the key here, mate, because it would have been easy to understand looking back at, goodness me, Lauren Kerwick is really coming. I need to up the ante, which could put her rhythm out, and that can change the old heart rate. So she's done well. We heard from a coach / mum earlier on. We've trained for this. We want to tick this off. We would want to win. We want qualification for the Worlds. And she's sticking to her guns, and so far it is going very well for her. She's going to come in for her last turn, and there she goes.
So she's
passing for the last time.
Coming up, as I said, this is pretty cruel. She can see the finishing line to her right, but she's got to go up to the turnaround point, come back past it for 2.5 kilometres to go. And she'll get a little sighter of where Lauren Kerwick is, and that should help her out. And here she comes. She's coming up to the run turnaround right now, and we'll get a clock on that, Hoppy, and see where she's checking at.
I'll do the old-fashioned one. You get the accurate one. She's
Lauren
going
Kerwick
well.
is right there. This is going to be tight.
I've got it about 10 or 11 seconds.
Yeah, she's close 10 seconds on the way back. This is going to be tight. And she has got a head of steam. We've watched her go past. Her stride is long. And Lauren Kerwick, look out.
This could come down right to the wire. I thought it was done and dusted, and Lauren Kerwick. But as I just said a few minutes ago, mate, 0 wins. That is huge motivation. There is no doubt about that. Huge motivation.
Lauren Kerwick has been around in the sport for a long time, had a lot of injuries,
Yes.
a lot of stuff. She's managed to get herself, clearly she's got herself fit, and she's in a great place. She's had a lot of potential as a junior athlete. She's now an open athlete, so she's out of under 23s, and it's fantastic to see her racing and racing well. This could potentially be a massive breakthrough win for her.
Well, she's, as we say, she's having a crack.
What a fantastic shot there. You can see the gap. You can see the difference in pace. You can see the difference in the turnover from that long shot.
She's catching.
She is catching. Now, has Rochelle Hill got an answer?
Has she got a kick? Here we go now. We're getting it from the bike. If you think that we're getting louder, we are up and about. We're on the edge of our seat. The big crowd that's been built here at Devonport is getting very excited as well, as Rochelle Hill has been dominant on this run. She went out in the 10K. She went out pretty hard, set her rhythm at about 3.3, as her mum and coach said, and she's comfortable within that. Well, I put it to you, Craig Redmond, she's going to have to be uncomfortable to get a little bit faster if she wants to stand atop the podium. She's just checking a clock.
It's really interesting. This is the times where do you stick to the plan, or do you actually, I've got to go harder? And it's like... well,
the reality is, if your plan's 3:30, that's what you want to do. It might only feel second, but who knows?
And keep in mind, I mean, obviously, winning the elite race is great for her, but she's still an under 23 athlete. So ticking that selection for under 23 worlds would be great for her. And wow,
wouldn't it be bold? Can she hang on?
Lauren Kerwick is that she's keeping her there. She's keeping us hanging. We've still got. What are we guessing here? We've still got about 1.5k to go, I guess, from here, maybe a little bit more. But
so they've just got that turn, haven't they? And then it is the last 1.25k.
So I reckon there's about 1.5 to go.
It'll be almost interesting to see the look on Rochelle's face, because she's going to turn. At the moment, she probably doesn't know how close she is, and she probably thinks, I could have that 15, 20 seconds. She'll go, oops, there she is. I've got to go up a gear.
I tell you what, if you're not down in Devonport on the finishing line today,
you've got to get there. If you're anywhere close to Devonport, but be quick.
You've got 4 minutes.
You have got 4 minutes. Very, very exciting race. Isn't it incredible? They've been out there hard at it for an hour and 54. They're going to be out there for 2 hours, and it's coming down to this.
Now, this is a really interesting now, because for Lauren, do I sit and wait, or do I kick straight past? And can Rochelle match the kick? This will be really, really interesting, and the maturity of the athletes and their fatigue levels.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate.
You know, like Lauren's running really fast, but she might only have one.
Here it is. She's almost up on her shoulder, Redders.
Oh, what a cracking race.
So it is Lauren Kerwick. She's gone to the inside. Rochelle's looked round and seen her, and she's gone. Is she going to stay with her?
She's staying with her. Oh, this could come down to the blue carpet sprint. It's still got a K to go. They're coming up to the turnaround.
Gee whiz, this is very exciting. She's gone past, but look at the determination digging deep of Rochelle Hill. They are running side by side now, Redders.
Now, both these athletes do have track running experience, so they do have that ability to sit and kick and to surge. But I tell you what, this late in the race, and that's great work, Rochelle. She's holding.
Look at that, Rochelle! Brilliant, gutsy performance. How does that? Because Kerwick might have thought, I'm just going to go around the inside and take you, and she hasn't been able to do it.
Oh, they're looking tired. And can she ease away, or can Rochelle? She's just sitting on her shoulder. She's fighting. Oh, what a fantastic race.
Kerwick is trying to put some distance now, Redders, it looks like to me. And Rochelle is stubbornly holding on with every fibre of her being to stay in this race.
If we can get our bronze medal athlete. It looks like in the background, Nicole Vanderkay is moved into the bronze medal as well. And she's going very well. But I tell you what, it's a good old state of origin here. It's New South Wales versus Queensland, going toe-to-toe, Hoppy, for the win here at the Oceania Championships.
Nicole Vanderkay from New Zealand. Look at the way she's running as well. She's going so strongly. She has lifted it up. I don't know if that's a grimace or a smile. I'm going to say a grimace, but she'd be so thrilled with her run, Redders. It's been elite from the veteran. And now we're back. It is, look, she can't shake her. It is Lauren Kerwick
Mate.
striving for a first victory.
Yeah, look, it could be experience, but it may have been a little bit of a tactical area there. He could have sat and then really put in a surge instead of trying to ease past. But Rochelle, she's tough. She's a tough fighter, and just like her mum was when she was an elite athlete. So this they've got, they'd be about 1K to go from here, and
gee
so
whiz.
get down. So 3 minutes 20.
To me, it looks like Lauren is really striving, but just can't seem to shake her, Redders.
No, and look, it could come down just to your positioning. You got the little
the chicane, you're
onto
right.
Onto the blue carpet, so
Of which Lauren is in the right position there.
yeah. So
Just to come round, as if you can get that one step, go round. Look at this. That pace has picked up now. These girls are absolutely flying.
So I think Rochelle's just trying to push out a little bit. She's just easing forward.
This is what we love for,
Lauren's
isn't it?
sitting on a shoulder. These girls have been going for 2 hours, and here we are, duking it out for 2 hours, and it's going to come down to a matter of seconds. This is incredible.
Well, this is where it sometimes is interesting in these races, where one athlete, in the blink of an eye, just finds something, Redders. I have to say I admire Rochelle Hill at the minute. Look, she says, you're not going to go past me as hard and as fast as you've been going. I'm not going away. I know what my capability is. I've been running within myself at 3:30.
That, and there's a move. And there's a move. Who has made that move?
I think it's Rochelle Hill.
It has. She's got a little bit of a gap. Can Lauren Kerwick fight back?
Look here it is, Rochelle. She's actually moved away.
Oh, Lauren Kerwick, she's ran her heart out to get up there, but she hasn't got that finish to come away.
Oh, that's a good distance now.
What a sign of maturity from Rochelle Hill. But it's not over yet. They're not at the blue carpet. They've still got probably about 600 metres to go from here. Can Lauren Kerwick give one more push?
Well, maybe that was the thing that tactically, when she got up to her, it looked to me as she thought she was going to burn her off. But look at Rochelle Hill now. She was within herself, and now she is pushing away. What a very mature performance by this wonderful athlete. She's picked up the pace now, Redder. She's got a little bit in reserve.
Yeah, she's been running controlled on her race pace. Lauren Kerwick has been running on the absolute limit and just come up short. But what a maturity from Rochelle Hill. She's pushing away. She's about to get onto the blue carpet. And there she is, Rochelle Hill. She's going to take gold here in Devonport.
So the finishing line comes up. Rochelle Hill takes the victory. And have a look at Lauren Kerwick, who has not died wondering, who comes over. There for a minute, she probably thought to herself, I think I've got you, and just didn't have it. Brilliant, and we can see Rochelle Hill. She has got everything in that one, Redders. That is a magnificent race.
I'm speechless. We were
Just
calling
a
that.
wonderful, wonderful
We were
race.
chatting with her mum. I'm sure her mum had a heart in her mouth there towards the end, but such maturity. Like, she got run down. She didn't panic. Maybe a bit of a tactical error from Lauren Kerwick to not kick by straight away at the pace she was running. But maybe she was done. She ran on the absolute rivet. It'd be really interesting to see her run split. She'll definitely have the fastest run split for the day.
Absolutely.
And I reckon Nicole Vanderkay would go close to having the second fastest run split as well. To come through to take the bronze medal. And here she comes, bring her home, New Zealand. She's your girl, she's your Olympian, and she's going to take the bronze medal here in Devonport for the Oceania Standard Distance Championships for 2025.
Yes, terrific work by Nicole Vanderkay, coming over in third position, as there we see a very, very satisfied Rochelle Hill. She has given everything for this race, old boy. Brilliant performance by her. So it was 2 hours, 4 minutes and 7 seconds to our bronze medalist Nicole Vanderkay in what was a brilliant run. Well, this throws up many surprises, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, Lauren Kerwick, that's a fantastic race for her. Another Kiwi in fourth. Eva Gooden, she had a fantastic race as well. So she did really well there to get fourth. So Rochelle Hill takes takes the gold medal, Lauren Kerwick the silver, and Nicole Vanderkay the bronze. We're still looking for our under-23 medalist because Rochelle Hill was under-23, but the other athletes were her.
Yeah.
And this is our silver medal in the under-23. So
Yeah.
Tara Sasinski will take the silver medal in the under-23 race. She had a fantastic race as well. And what a run here as well. That looks like Kira Hedgeland, who was
Yep.
in that chase pack. And she will be 6th across the line as well. So she's come from a long way back to run a fantastic run as well.
Gee whiz, we're learning, we're veterans, but when you think to yourselves, we can't see anyone coming from the back pack, and some elite finishing, and Lauren Kerwick just been pipped by the experience, the maturity above her years is what I'm thinking of. Rochelle Hill, what would that do to an athlete in the psyche, Redders, to know that someone can throw everything like the kitchen sink at you, and you still were able to recover and then go on and win like that? That can only really propel one, I think, to go forward.
Yeah, look, I mean, she's an under-23 athlete. She's obviously well coached and well drilled, but at the end of the day, it's the athlete that's got to be able to handle that. And,
Yep.
And she showed a lot of mental strength to not panic, to stick to a race plan, and still have the ability to finish and kick it down in that last 800 metres. So kudos to her, fantastic race. And here's our next competitor coming through. And it's Charlotte Derbyshire as well. So it's another under-20. She's in the elite category, finishing in 7th place.
Yep, and let's have a look there.
Big run from Ellie Hoytink as well to move into into 8th.
Which is really great. So she moved up about 3 or 4 positions from where she got off the bike, which is fantastic from her.
Bria Roderick coming across the line. She was instrumental in that lead pack, riding really, really strong. So she'll finish in 9th overall. We'll try and work out whether she may be the 3rd under-23 actually. We'll get the results, it's confirmed, but I think she may have taken the under-23 bronze medal. So well done to
Bria Roderick, you're right
so
there, mate.
Unofficial results there, people listening in, but we do believe that Bria's taken the bronze medal in the under-23 Oceanas. And next across the line, Zoe Clark. Big learning for the first time racing this sort of distance as well. So she'll be the 4th under-23 across the line.
Yeah, you can see from her face that she was quite exhausted. You can see now that she's gone down, and they've gone out to give her some assistance to make sure she's all right. Well, these girls have given everything here in Devonport. When you say the word race, that's exactly what that was. It was a very, very big race indeed. Gee whiz, it was a thriller. It was battled out right down to the wire, where Rochelle Hill, in 2 hours, 2 minutes and 55 seconds, just got a nose in front, right within the last sort of 600-700 metres of the very fast finishing Lauren Kerwick, who came in second at 2 hours 3 and 2 seconds. So 7 seconds between the two. They were running for quite a number, at least for that last kilometre, shoulder by shoulder. For all money, it seemed momentum was with Lauren Kerwick, and Rochelle Hill just really stuck to her game plan. She was proposing to try and work on a 3:30 kilometre, and she did that. And then, because that was the case, she had something in reserve and a kick. Quite often it can happen to athletes that they get to a position like that when they've given their all, and then someone comes up from behind them and all of a sudden their race is done. But brilliant work by Rochelle Hill, as she was able to hold on in a magnificent race here in the under 23 and elite women, as Monks, representing Xian Monks, has come across now in 13th position, just before her in 12th position, I apologise. And so now we're going to go to Redders to speak to our winner.
Rochelle Hill, gold medal today, not only in the elite race, but also in the under-23 Oceania Championships. Tell us about your race.
I was really happy with my race. It all started off with a great swim, so I haven't been making that front pack, so it was really a confidence boost to just come out of the swim with the front pack. So I was really happy there. I love a challenging bike course, so that ticked that box there. And then I went out hard on the run, and just tried to hold it. But I started daydreaming a little bit on the first and the second lap, but on that last lap I really had to switch on.
Yeah, look, it was sensational. We were watching you on the bike. You were riding really good position. Nice tucked streamline coming down that hill. Did you enjoy the North Street Hill?
I really do, yeah. I mean, I live in a pretty hilly area, so I'm always doing hills on my rides, and it kind of played in my favour, yeah.
Now, tell us about the run. We actually had your mum doing a little bit of commentary while you're early in the run, and she was talking about you were sitting on a pace and just controlling your run. But then Lauren came up behind you in that last K, so suddenly it got really real about potentially not winning the race.
Yeah, it definitely got real. I could see her coming up on the second lap, and I was like, oh, I think I still have enough of a gap just to still stay in my pace. But then that last lap, I was like, oh my goodness, she's going to get me. And then when she passed me, I just thought, okay, get on her shoulder. You still have something left over for a sprint finish. So I was happy to bring it home strong, yeah.
You did really well, and it's the 40th Devonport Triathlon, and some of the biggest names in the history of triathlon have won this event. What does it mean to be the 40th winner of this race?
Pretty unreal, actually. I just keep on seeing all the announcements on AusTri about all the legends that have won here, so it was really good to kind of put my name up there.
Yeah, so congratulations. You've stamped your ticket to go to the World Championships in Wollongong. So what's the plans for the rest of the year?
So I'm going over to Europe around June, so I've got onto a French Div 1 team, so I'll be getting a bit of racing over there, then coming back. I won't be over there for too long, and then I'll come back. I've got a 70.3 in Slovakia, so that's also something that I'm just throwing in there. And yeah, I'm kind of just being pretty spontaneous, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, you're Oceania champion, you're Australian champion, elite and under 23, a big day.
Yeah, I'm really happy, thank you.
Congratulations.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, there we go as we see the replay of Rochelle Hill coming to the line and taking that well-deserved victory here in Devonport. Tremendous work by her, and it was great to hear the inside of what she was thinking as the fast-finishing Lauren Kerwick was coming up beside her. And I think, in fact, Redders is just potentially going to have a chat now to Lauren Kerwick.
Today, what a run. You made that race so exciting. Tell us about it.
I honestly didn't really expect to be running like that, but yeah, I came off the bike. I felt pretty comfortable. I went out fast, and I was like, oh, I hope I can hold on. And yeah, surprisingly, I did hold on. So yeah.
So it's good to see you out racing and racing well. You were in that chase pack. Did you feel like you couldn't get across to them because they were riding so well?
Yeah, I could feel them getting away, and the girls that I was riding with, they were really strong, and we were riding quite solid turns, but still the front guys were really strong. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it looked like they were eking out about 10 seconds a lap, and we're thinking, well, this gap's getting too big.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't expect to be able to run up to that group because, I think they were a minute or so. Yeah, coming into transition, but yeah, I guess I was able to do it, so I'm proud of that. Yeah.
So tell us about your training. You're based on the Gold Coast now. So how's your training going?
Yeah, training's been good. I think mentally I've been the best I've ever been in training, and I guess I just love what I do. So the squads I'm training with and my coach Drew Box and all my support, it's just been really good. So I love it. Yeah.
So fantastic. It's great to see. It's a bit of a breakthrough race. You've done really well. What are the plans for the rest of the year?
I guess I've only ever done one race overseas, and that was last year in New Zealand. So I guess that will be the plans of in the next couple of months, is getting a bit more exposure overseas. Yeah.
Well, congratulations today, silver medal, and look forward to a big year.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for the great event. Yeah, thank you.
Well, there we go. That was fantastic to get an insight into how the fast finishing Lauren Kerwick was feeling, and have a look at that when she became side to side. She's run from the cloud. She was in the chasing bunch. We probably didn't give her enough credit to think what a quality athlete she is. She got up beside, she had tracked Rochelle Hill down, and I think everybody around was probably thinking that she's going to overtake her. But now we'll go to our third place getter in Nicole Vanderkay.
Nicole Vanderkay, we were doing the commentary and we were calling you a veteran. We feel like you're one of the veterans of the field now.
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, I was just reminiscing, and I think I've raced like from a decade ago, so it's pretty crazy to think how time goes by, and we're still racing here, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Kiwis have been coming to Devonport for a long, long time. You do enjoy racing here?
Yeah, it's tricky to get to, I'm not going to lie, especially coming from a small town, but once you're here, it's so peaceful and calm, and the course is great. There's not many courses left that actually have technical bits and hills, so you know it's a great course and it's awesome. Yeah.
So tell us about your race. You got caught in that second pack. You had to work really hard. You knew there were some strong riders up front. What was your mindset as you were thinking about that bike and that hill?
Yeah. Well, it was all just about going through the process. I had a pretty shocking race 2 weeks ago, all because my swim, I was second to last out of the water. So to come in the front of the second group was huge improvement already. Again, just stepping stones. I've already made huge progress, so happy with that. It was definitely going to be hard work because those strong swimmers are also strong bikers. I put a lot of cookies into the ride. I'm not going to lie, I put a lot into it. And it was really disjointed turns, but it was great that the girls were really trying to pull turns. And, it was about eliminating as much time lost as possible. And I think we did that pretty well considering.
You had a really good run off a tough bike and to run through and to get onto the podium. So what was your mindset through that run? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's just about getting back into the motion again. Last year I kind of lost all three, so to be feeling better in the swim, bike and run, it was just nice to feel a little bit more myself again, and each race is just slowly getting better, so hopefully throughout the season I'll find my feet.
So we've got a World Championship just across the ditch in Wollongong later in the year. Are you looking forward to that?
Oh yeah, it's not often we have big races this side of the year, so it's so nice to be home and not be overseas for too long.
Well done today, and we look forward to seeing a great year.
Thank you very much.
Well, a very big congratulations as we watch the replay vision of Nicole Vanderkay coming down to the finishing line. Terrific work by her. She made up many a position and has finished on the podium. So a wonderful performance by the veteran New Zealander, coming in third. But a wonderful race here in Devonport in the Elite and Under 23 Oceania Championships. And so with that, it's been just a wonderful segue into the last race. What a brilliant performance from the young ladies who have taken the start. And so it was fascinating, Redders, to get the inside into those athletes. And again, congratulations to them.
Oh, fantastic. Look, it's so, Rochelle, incredible maturity for her, well coached, and so great to see Lauren Kirkbake racing. I know she's had some health and some injury issues, and she's in a really happy place training with Drew Box up there on the Gold Coast, and also Nicole Vanderkay, the veteran,
yep,
who starting to show some form, which is great for New Zealand to have those athletes back, and can't wait to see the men's race.
Well, okay, so for all of those who've been watching, I absolutely hope you're very hard to please if you didn't enjoy that, Redders, but it's been our absolute joy to bring you that race. So we're going to take a short break, and I think the race gets underway around that 4 p.m, so we'll be back on board with you very, very shortly.
20 minutes.
20 minutes, so now's the time to have that quick break. It's Andrew Hopwood and Craig Redmond just signing off for a few minutes. Don't go too far because we've got the last race today, which is the Elite Men and the Under 23 Championship of Oceania here in Devonport.